Welcome to another week with Advanced Kingdom. As always, we're excited to be on and to see everyone in the chat this morning. We appreciate everyone this week. And as you're used to, we turn our hearts and our minds towards Jesus every week with our morning devotion and prayer. This morning, I'm going to bring up Terrace to the stage. Good morning, Terrace. We'll turn the platform over to you and you can begin.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Advancers, how y'all doing this morning? This is a brand new day, brand new week. Man, new graces, new mercies that we're able to see, man. I am so excited to be back with y'all, first of all. I was with everyone on Monday, and then the enemy tried to come in and attack my body a little bit and shut me down for the week. But the weapon was formed, but it did not prosper. I am so happy to be back with you guys this morning. With that weapon being formed, I want to say it made me upset. It made me very, very upset. It made me a little angry because I saw like the spiritual side of things. You know, we launch Advanced Kingdom, and out of the blue, I randomly get sick. I didn't think that was anything that was just by happen chance. It felt coordinated by the enemy. So when we notice and we see things like that, it tells us that we are on the right track. We are doing the right thing. We are walking in the purpose that we're supposed to be in, and we're going to reach the people that we're supposed to reach. So thank you guys for your prayers. I am back. Let's get it going. This morning, we are going to discuss a familiar scripture, but it's something over the last week that is really kind of resonated with me, especially, like I said, with being sick and kind of being put down for a little bit. This is what resonated with me for sure. So turn with me quickly to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. You guys will know it should be a foundation for us as believers. Hopefully you know it. If you don't, read the scripture. But the scripture simply says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Lord." I'm going to read that again. It says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Lord." Now, this is a scripture I heard a lot growing up. Didn't fully understand it growing up, but as we live and we go through life, God will give understanding and meaning to the word. It'll really become alive to you, and this is something that definitely has become alive to me in my life, and I'm sure you guys as well go through life, and life. I love to say that life begins to life. And when things happen in our life, it can easily throw us off of our pattern, throw us off of our journey, what we're supposed to be doing. Um, Consider them distractions. Even with me being sick last week, I call that a legitimate distraction. It was a distraction for sure. I know that the purpose that I have on my life and we have on our lives, still continues, but it was a legitimate distraction. It took me off course just for a little bit, It made me take a step back. But in taking a step back, like I said, I looked at the scripture and that word steadfast, just kept popping out to me. And so the word steadfast means resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. Resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. That's solid. That's anchored. That is, set in stone, not moving. You're going to do what you're going to do. That's it. There's nothing that can push you off of your line. Nothing that can move you off of the path that you're on, that you're supposed to be on. And so even when sickness and other distractions come for us, the scripture says, be steadfast, immovable. And then it says always abounding, always abounding, always abounding. That word abounding has so many meanings. But the first definition I see is very plentiful. Very plentiful. And so very plentiful, always abundant. That sticks out. That sticks out for me. Even when situations come and we are hit with attacks from the enemy, we know that if we're steadfast, immovable, and we stick to the plan, because that's one thing that God kept saying to me even last week is the plan is the plan. The plan that I have for your life and the plan that I have for Advanced Kingdom is still continuing. That's the plan. But understanding that even in those situations, we can be plentiful, we can excel, we can do more when those attacks come. And so I saw last week, I'm sitting back watching you guys. When I wasn't asleep or when I wasn't down, I would watch you guys. And the thing that I love is those 3 days that I missed, we were abounding. Last week was a great week. It was our launch week. We were abounding. There was no drop off. We had a crew and a team that really pushed this vision, and it made me understand the importance of community, and it made me understand the importance of a solid foundation and unwavering team. And so we can take this scripture as a personal scripture, but imagine that as a team, how effective that is to be unwavering and immovable. I talked to Tim a couple times last week. I sounded a whole lot worse than I sound right now. But when I talked to him a couple times last week, that's one thing that I loved and I pointed out is that you guys are doing it. Like, you guys are still going. Tim jumped right in, filled in for me. As far as moderating, I saw others jump in, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do, not just in Advanced Kingdom, but as believers, as advancers, as kingdom-minded people. When life comes at us, we have to push back. We have to fight. We have to push back at the enemy. Fighting is just an attempt to stand. It's just a equal reaction to the push that you're getting. And so what are we doing when life comes? What are we doing when that push comes from the enemy or a legitimate distraction comes? How handle that? My first response, like I said last week, I got upset. My first response was really to get angry. And I had to not have misplaced anger, but I understood where the attack came from. And so identifying the attack and where it came from. And then the reaction I had was to push back. And so my pushback is in prayer. So I literally begin to take authority over my body. I begin to speak the word over my body, and not just the word just to read it, but speaking it from a place of victory, speaking it from a place of knowing that I was healed already, past tense. And so healing was my portion. Your reaction to adverse situations is going to determine how long you're in that situation, is going to determine your mindset in that situation. And I love the mindset that we as a group had last week. I dropped out. I was off. You guys stepped right up. That's the reaction that we need to have in life in general. When life comes at us, how are you going to react? Are you going to respond in flesh, or are you going to respond in a spiritual manner? And us as advancers and believers, we have an unfair advantage to respond in that spiritual manner, to respond in prayer and take everything to prayer, taking everything to prayer and being steadfast, immovable. I even think in our trading journey, we have, new traders, very, very new traders that have joined us. I appreciate all of the subscribers, new traders. One thing I want to tell you guys is, as you're trading and as you're on this journey, everything's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I know I can attest, and, plenty others can attest to the ups and the downs of trading. Us as Advanced Kingdom, we are going to be able to, eliminate some of the pitfalls for you, guiding you through your trading journey. But there will be pitfalls. There will be stumbling blocks. There will be times where you feel like you can't do this. Trust me. Everyone has had that feeling. Everyone's had that feeling over and over. But feeling comes when that situation comes, your reaction is going to be everything. Understanding that if you're steadfast, immovable, always abounding, you will get through it. The end of that scripture, I love. The very, very end of that scripture, I love. And so it's always abounding in the work of the Lord. But it says, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Lord. It says your toil is not in vain in the Lord. That right there should make you shout. That right there should make you, it makes me shout. That right there should make you get excited, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Lord. And so if you are toiling in something and it is the right thing that you're toiling in for the Lord, it will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. I came this morning to tell you that your toil will not be in vain, whether it's trading, whether it's whatever goal that you set, or whatever God has told you to do, it will not be in vain. Even if it looks like it's in vain right now, on the other side, you will see success. You will see the vision come to pass in the name of Jesus. You will see that vision and fruit bear from that thing. I promise you that if you are steadfast, immovable, abounding, your toil will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. And so even as we go into this week, I want you to keep that at the forefront of your mind. Keep that at the forefront of your mind as you're going through life. Typically, when a word comes or you hear something like this, it's going to be challenged. It's going to be tested. So you will see a situation or two come up over the next few weeks. I guarantee you that's life. You'll see it and you'll be able to put this to the test. Like I said, when those things come, your reaction is going to be everything. Will you go to the word? Will you speak the word over it and speak from a place of victory? Or will you give up? Will you say, this is too hard, I can't take it, I'm done? I admonish you, do not give up, because your toil will not be in vain. Let's take a couple moments. We're going to pray. I know this was a very short word this morning, but we're going to pray. We're going to pray this morning that the understanding of this word is there, and that the application, and that you will put this to use. Father, this morning we come before you on this Monday morning. It's a start of a new week. We thank you for this new week. We thank you for new mercies, Father. We thank you for giving us breath in our body, for we know as long as there is breath in our body, there's purpose on our lives, Father. So thank you right now for the purpose that you've placed in us, oh God, that you continue to have purpose, that you still have a vision and a plan for our lives, God. And even as we go through life, Father, I pray that you give us our fight back, oh God, that you give us the strength to fight, oh God, the will to fight when the enemy comes at us, when attacks come at us, oh God. You give us strength, you give us the will and the ability and the skill to fight, oh God. Teach hands to war, oh God, and our fingers to fight, oh God. That's what your scripture says you will do, Father. Teach our hands to war and our fingers to fight, oh God. Give us scriptures that will push the enemy back. Give us scriptures that will hit the enemy over the head, oh God. Give us scriptures that will push the enemy to the other side, oh God, in the name of Jesus. Give us the wisdom, oh God, to fight in the name of Jesus, Father. Pray even as we go through the week, Father, that this word stays at the forefront of our minds, oh God, that we will not give up and we will faint not, oh God, in the name of Jesus. I speak over everyone the ability and the strength to fight this week, oh God. Speak it over us now. When adverse situations come, oh God, we will react in the manner, oh God, of your word. We will, as kingdom citizens, knowing that the victory belongs to us, oh God, in the name of Jesus. Thank you right now for giving us the victory in advance, oh God. You know the situations that are going to come up, God. You know the things that are going to come at us this week, oh God, in advance. Thank you for advanced victory, oh God. We praise you even now for the victory, oh God, in the name of Jesus. And I decree and declare every attack of the enemy fails in the name of Jesus. The enemy falls to the ground. Now, in the name of Jesus, we decree and declare victory over you. Victory over advancers, oh God. Victory, oh God. We will advance. We will continue. We will push the vision, oh God, in the name of Jesus. Personal goals will be hit in the name of Jesus. Corporate goals will be hit in the name of Jesus. We will advance in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys got something out of that word this morning. Hopefully you got something. I know I got something that made me inside. I'm glad to be back, not 100%, but I am ready to go. I am ready to go this week, man. Definitely ready to go. We are going to time to welcome all of our advancers. Now, I mentioned we've got over 100 subscribers. Over 100 subscribers in a week at that. I watched the numbers just keep growing. We want to welcome everyone this morning. We're going to get rolling this morning. I appreciate you guys joining us. We got people on the back end. We got people on YouTube. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's get going. We've got a couple people that on stage right now. We're going to bring them on stage for the moment and implement our analyzer.
Yo, great word this morning. Great word.
Listen, Tim, you know how mad I was, man. You know how mad I was.
You was. Hey, when you told me, I was upset.
Yeah.
Like, man, you gonna attack our guy?
Yeah.
But you know, the Bible mentions that snakes are at the door, a wide open door. Snakes are at the door. And we got to teach everyone how to step on them, that they're going to come, but how to step on them and keep moving forward. So excellent word. Excellent word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we got 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
We passed it. I know we were close. I didn't know we had passed it.
Last time I checked, we were over 100, a little over 100.
What? Yeah, that's we got to celebrate. We got to celebrate. I'm gonna bring everybody up to the stage. We got to celebrate.
Yeah.
We got to celebrate. We got the advancers coming now.
Yes, sir.
The team is in the building.
Man, good morning. That is awesome to hear. The 100 subscribers. That's awesome.
Yo, I did not know we were at, last time I checked, we were at 80 something. Yeah. And you're telling me we're at 100?
Yeah, hopefully we didn't lose any, but last time
187 to be exact. I'm checking right now.
What?
187. Oh, that was on the views. Wait a minute, let me go back. Okay, we had 187 views. Let me check subscribers. Okay, we're good. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, okay, we're at 88. We're at 88 subscribers.
88 subscribers.
Now views. So I get the insights. Views we're at 2,000 views.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 88 subscribers. So we're gonna have a party when we hit that 100 mark.
Must have been seeing in the future.
We're gonna hit it this week, okay? We're gonna get it this week.
We're gonna get it this week.
I'm not to go out and evangelize it, okay? I'm getting there, so we're gonna have it.
That's only 12 people.
That's it.
12 people.
We can get that today.
Everybody, call your friends.
Like and share.
Call your family.
Yes.
Have them to subscribe.
Yep.
Tell a friend to tell a
I think if each of us send it to 3 people and say subscribe right now, and we'll have it.
Yeah.
I got 3 people in my mind. I'm going to say subscribe now.
Subscribe right now.
Exactly.
My text is now. Yeah.
Tim, I must have been seeing in the spirit last week because I know it was the end of the week, and I thought I looked and saw 100 subscribers on there, but I was also kind of out of it too. So
you're in the future. You're in the future.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
sir.
calling those things that be not.
Speak it. Yeah. Hey, I love it. We got to say hello to Chat. Chat's in the building, been holding us down. Yeah. And everybody's in there. Tisha's in there holding down the fort. Kamika's there. John Paul has been showing up each morning. We've been recognizing his name. Sherry's in the building. We got a bunch of advancers in the building. Sherry, Dr. Tora. Let's see who else. We got Jacob's in the building. Let's see. My wife's in the building.
Yes, your
Tanya's in the building.
Yeah, better be on your best behavior, Tim.
I am.
Tanya's always representing.
She represents. Nedra's in the building. The day trading mom's in the building. She's gonna be on Wednesday and Thursday this week, and she'll be in the chat. Mr. Michael Looney's in the building.
All right, Michael. Looney.
Michael. Hey, Terrence, you remember Michael was one of the originals when we first met.
Yeah.
In the building. So good to see him in the chat.
Yeah.
Mika's on. So welcome everybody. Welcome all the advancers and those that decided to join us. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
and we celebrate everybody. As we get closer to 100, we celebrate each and every one taking this journey with us, because it's certainly a journey.
It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed. Indeed. Well, how was the weekend for everybody? All right. Denise, I heard you preached a fire word.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Woo! Look, I was preaching to myself. Tara's just like you this morning. When you have to bring a word, it's always something that you're living out, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's where the best word comes from, because you're living it. You're walking it out. And God is just showing you exactly how to put those pieces together because somebody else in the room is going through the same thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the Lord for bringing it out.
Yes.
No, that's true. That's like with this word that you just gave, our work is not in vain. Everything that we go through, God is going to use it.
Yes.
So that was an excellent word yesterday as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you.
Good, good. Mr. Viking Tradesman, what you do this weekend?
Yes.
So Saturday, Liam had a track meet at the high school. So it was cool seeing him get into some races. It rained pretty hard before the meet that morning, so it ended up getting pushed back. They had to cancel some events, things like that, but it was still good that we were able to get out there. It's funny watching a bunch of third graders run track. And then yesterday was a beautiful day. I just got a bunch of yard work done. It's springtime, grass is growing, get out there, mow the lawn, pick up all the, sticks and leaves and stuff that fell from all the wind and all that, and made the yard look good. And I kind of hung out with Liam out back, had a little bonfire with some of the stuff that fell, and grilled some burgers and had a chill night. It was good.
But that's the life.
It is, right? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Yep. Miss Lakeisha, how we doing this morning?
Morning bonnet.
Morning bonnet.
I have my matcha. I'm trying to practice discipline. So this morning, like I have tea, but the struggle is real. I'm trying to and be an adult, not go to Starbucks, but it's a struggle.
Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Hey, but your struggle is not in vain. Like your toil is not in vain.
That's the struggle. The getting the morning matcha. If that's the struggle, you're living life. You're living life well.
Yes, I don't want to feel like it's a dependent. So anytime I start feeling like something is a dependent in my life, I like to do self withdraw. So my goal this week is to only go to Starbucks 3 times. That's my goal. Okay. But I'm only going to try to go 3 times. Next week, Monday, ask me, okay, and I'll update y'all.
No, they're gonna miss you at Starbucks. You're funding that franchise. You're funding it. You're employing folks over there. Yeah.
Awesome. You could say that is a good thing. There's an argument to both sides, I suppose.
Now that Tim gave me a new perspective, I won't feel bad. I'll say, Lord, I'm employing people for your kingdom.
It's a purpose. Somebody got to spend that money.
Yes.
We're out.
You're part of the CPI report.
Man, we got Miss Dr. Ann is in the building this morning, man. I love to see you on camera, Dr. Ann. Love to see that smile. How are you doing?
Good morning, all. I am doing well. After a week of travel, I did nothing yesterday.
Good for you.
That's good.
I took a long nap. I think I laid down at 4 and woke up. It was 7. I was like, oh, damn.
That's good.
That's good. That is good.
That's good.
Well, we got the start of a new week. We're gonna flip it over to Mr. Tim Campbell for our headliners, and we're gonna find out what the week holds for us.
Well, I got my "I Will Testify" shirt on. I got my "I Will Testify" shirt, so we're gonna testify. That's what I'm excited about this week. We're going to testify. It's going to be a great testimony coming. But let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let me see. I got a bunch of buttons to push over here. Let me see which one I'm going to do for this morning's segment. All right. Headliner news. Not much to bring over this morning. I'm going to share my screen here and talk about a little bit from Forex Factory. We have limited news today on Forex Factory. And if I can share my screen, let me see. Hit that, and then I hit this, and this pops up. All right, so you should be seeing my screen now.
Yes.
This morning, no red folder news, which is we're coming off a very volatile week with Fed interest rate last week. Your favorite person, Fed Chair Jerome Powell, spoke, and when he speaks, the market moves. Market certainly moved. DXY initially pushed up, gave that head nod up so that it can introduce the buyers, and then DXY began to fall. And that was because of last week's red folder news. We had interest rates stay at 5.5%. They said as long as the economic data shows that inflation is still going up, they're going to keep the restraints on longer, for a longer period of time, because they are committed to getting us down to 2% in inflation over time. So the expectation of the Fed reducing the rate had a spark last week, and then we were hit Friday with NFP news, which sent the markets in every direction. And so we're going to see a continuation of that. The dovish talk from Fed Chair. We also got some talking Fed heads that will speak later this week to give their opinion of why they made the decision and what their expectation for interest rates. But right now, with earnings reports coming out in the market, we are very bullish in the indices as the DXY begins to retrace. Today, what you'll see is this afternoon, you'll see FOMC members Bargan and Williams speak. Usually it's yellow folder news if they're non-voting members. It'll turn orange if they're a voting member, and it'll definitely turn red if Fed Chair Jerome Powell is speaking. He's going to be quiet this week. Today, we'll just have the non-voting members speaking. Tomorrow, no red folder news for USD, but we will get the rate decisions falling in sync for the other currencies with Aussie tomorrow, and then 10-year bond auction on Wednesday. Wednesday, we'll pay attention to the crude oil inventory report. We've been paying a lot of attention to oil. And then on Thursday, we'll get the rate hike decision on the pound, the British pound. And then we'll get a 30-year bond auction, which is important to the DXY as the long-term bond yields increase. It shows us that it's a brighter future if it is bigger than the short term. So right now, short term, if you're paying attention to the bond yields, short term is larger than the long term, which means that we are headed to a recession. So something to pay attention to on Thursday, and then Friday we get some more Fed chairs speaking. Fed Chair Barr, FOMC member Barr will speak on Friday. So not too much to pay attention to as far as news. We're expecting continuation. When we jump to the DXY and we start to look at charts, we'll look at the DXY falling out of support and out of consolidation, and is currently in the downtrend. And so we'll see how that plays out with metals, and we'll see how that plays out with indices today. But that's today's headliner news, everyone.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that, Tim, covering everything. Not a ton today, but listen, we can't always have a last week.
That's true. That's true. We don't want that all the time either.
Yeah.
Woo.
Absolutely.
If your account's intact, that's a good thing. But we made some money. We made some pretty good money last week. It was a good week.
Man, I sat I looked and saw what y'all were doing. Let me say that. And yeah. I had that FOMO. I'm not gonna lie. I was able to get into a trade on I think on Thursday, and made goal. But other than that, man, I felt like I was just missing out. Y'all were killing it.
Yeah,
definitely killing it last week.
So beginning Monday, do we got a Mind Matters today? I'm kind of interested to set the tone for this week.
Hey, we got a Mind Matters this morning. We got Dr. Ann coming to bring a powerful Mind Matters this morning. I'm excited. This sets my week up. Hopefully you guys are really not just hearing, but you're applying what she's saying. Last week, I know I applied that harmony last week, and I saw a couple of people talk about that. So I'm excited, Dr. Ann, for what you have today. You ready?
I'm ready. So today, based on something Tisha said last week, we're going to talk about fear. And fear is a big topic. So we're not going to talk about everything about fear, but I want to specifically focus on fear as it relates to money and trading. Yeah. And so the definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that something or someone is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So when I was thinking about fear, 3 things I thought about fear. 1, it paralyzes you. 2, it causes procrastination. And 3, it causes poor performance. And so we have to deal with the underlying issues that create fear that we have about money. And I don't think sometimes we realize what we've been taught about money. And that's not necessarily what we've been taught by what somebody said to you. It's what you've been taught by what you observed, by what you experienced, by what you believe as a result of what you saw somebody else going through. So we have all of these different underlying issues with fear that we really haven't dealt with, that we need to deal with. So my challenge to you this week is going to be to write down all of your beliefs about money. What do you believe about money? And believe it or not, you have beliefs about having money, and you have fear of beliefs about not having money. And guess what? You can have unhealthy fears about having money. And people don't think that you can, if you think about having money, what's unhealthy about that? Well, what if you think if I have money, then I'll have to supply everybody's needs? Everybody's going to come to me. So you will position yourself to avoid having it because you don't want the fear. You don't want to deal with people coming to you. Or everybody in my family is going to think I'm rich. As soon as they think I'm rich, then, the cousins I never spoke to are now going to speak to me. And now I got to deal with all of these issues. So what are those unhealthy thoughts that you have about money? What are the thoughts you have about prosperity? Believe it or not everybody believes that they should prosper. Not everybody believes that prosperity is a good thing. Not everybody believes that it's okay for Dr. Lakeisha to have a nice house and the person next to her doesn't have a nice house. Why? She should help them. We all should have a nice house. I don't know that that's a healthy thought. I don't think it's a healthy thought at all. Jesus even said the poor you will always have among you. Why? Not because he desires everybody to be poor, but not everybody has a prosperity mindset. And so you can't have what you don't have the mindset to have. So we have to deal with that fear. And so one of the specific fears about money I want to also talk about is risk. We fear risk. Why do we fear risk? Did you grow up in a home where you didn't have enough? Did you see your parents struggle? Were you even told you don't take risks? Believe it or not, there were some people who were raised by parents that told you don't risk your money. You put it in safe spaces. You do these are the right things to do. And you have this checklist that you do. You have to deal with that because guess what? Everything that I have read and seen in the Bible, when God gave somebody an instruction, it came with some level of risk. When I think about Abraham, he told Abraham to leave everybody and everything and go. That was a risk to say, put it all behind me. When I think about when he told Abraham to offer Isaac, that was a risk, to take my only son. This is the only one you gave me. The other one I got in my flesh. This is the only one you gave me, and you want me to risk this, giving it back to you. But he had to take that risk to believe God. When I think about when the spies went out to view the land, they saw giants in the land. That was a risk that they had to face to go in and get the promise that they were already promised. When I think about one of my favorite people in the Bible, the woman with the issue of blood, to get her healing, she had to take a risk. She wasn't supposed to be in the crowd. She wasn't supposed to be around people. But because she wanted what she needed from Jesus, she took a risk. So what is my fear around risk? And I think that's a lot what hinders us when it comes to trading in the market. I know my personal risk was a problem for me. It's like, I don't want to lose this money. Well, why don't you want to lose this money? What is the thought process behind losing that you don't want to risk? What's your thought process about money? What's your thought process about not having money? What's that fear, that underlying fear that's drawing me to not take trades? That's drawing me to not to see everybody else prospering, know it can work. But for me, I don't want to do that. You know, I'll put 10 cents in the market, but there's no way I'm putting $10 in the market. You know, so dealing with the fears that I have and you have around prosperity and money. Your assignment this week is to write down everything that you believe about money, everything that you believe about prosperity, and digest it and dissect it and see what's unhealthy about this. What in these thought processes that's limiting me? And I'm gonna tell a story about a young lady, and I always tell a story with permission. So there was a young lady. This shows how this fear was not taught to her verbally, but it was taught to her through experience. So as an adult, she would have to keep her refrigerator full of food, like packed full of food. And at one point, she didn't understand why. She just knew she liked food in her refrigerator. At some point, she lost all of the food. She forgot to close the freezer. Everything spoiled. And so she had to deal with, you know, the emotions behind losing all of that food. But what she understood was that, what she came to understand was that she had a fear of not having enough, because as a child, there was a time when they didn't have enough. Although she never went hungry, she remembered opening the refrigerator and not seeing anything but maybe some milk and some flour, or, you know. So that mindset, when she got old enough to provide for herself, let me keep my refrigerator full, that keeps that fear low and gives me confidence that I'm never going to run out, until she lost it all. And then she had to deal with that. So that's how deep an underlying fear can be from something in childhood. You can have a behavior that you're doing over and over again and never realize this is tied to something that happened in my childhood. This is tied to something that I saw with my parents. This is tied to something I saw, you know, with friends or whatever. But write down, what are your thoughts about money? What are your thoughts about prosperity? And I know for me, you know, a little transparency, one of mine was control. It was the fear of losing control over my money if I got in the market and took risks. And that's why I would, you know, I think I talked with one of the advancers about this once before. Why do I get in a trade and hold it when I see it's going the wrong way? That control thing is that fear of not being in control. Like I know this is going to turn around. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that, and how I am still processing and dealing with it. And how I have learned to deal with it was to take the loss. Take the loss. That's where your control really is. So you're fearing something that you really don't have. You really don't have the control when you do that. The market has the control, because it's going to go where it's going to go. Doesn't matter how much you think about it and want it and desire it. If it's not going that way, it's not going that way. So we really got to deal with our issues and fear around money and prosperity. And why do we fear taking risk? What does it mean when we fear losing money? Why do I fear losing money? Why do I fear that if I take this trade, I'm not going to have enough? And just think about it. You take one trade and tie it to your whole entire life. If I lose this trade, somehow mentally that's tied to my whole entire life. So we have to deal with those fears. We have to understand that there is some risk in prosperity. It really is. And one thing I wrote for myself a while back when I was taking some loss is that none of my degrees were free. All of my education cost me something. So as I learn in the market, guess what? It's going to cost me something. Now, the thing about it is we have stop loss and take profit that we can put in place where we can minimize and we can limit that risk and we can monitor that risk and have some level of control over it. But it's going to cost you something. So deal with your fear so that you can really get in the market and you can really prosper and you can really take trades and get out of trades when you're not supposed to be in them and hold them when they need to be held. When we deal with that risk, when we deal with that fear of risk. Remember, fear paralyzes you, fear causes procrastination, and fear causes poor performance. Well, how does poor performance relate to the market? In and out of trades. Oh, I'm gonna get in. Oh, I'm gonna get out. Oh, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get out. That's poor performance. That's not good. I don't think. Procrastination. I should get in this trade, but I don't know. I said when it got here I was gonna get in, but I don't know. And then paralyzed, not getting in any trades at all. Whole week go by. I said that thing was gonna go here. I knew it was gonna go there, but I didn't get in. And now you're mad with yourself because you didn't get in and you didn't make the money. So this week I challenge you to deal with your fear. And that's it for Mind Matters today.
Mind Matters segment never disappoints. That's good. Deal with your fear.
Can't do it, drop the bomb.
Nah, that's good. If you don't deal with it, you're not going to be a good trader. I'll put it like that in relation to trading, is that you constantly have to overcome fear. Mm-hmm. And I heard it said like this before, is that fear will have you experience something that has never happened before it ever happens.
Absolutely.
You experience hunger, but you're not hungry.
Right.
You experience starvation, you experience foreclosure, you experience bankruptcy. You experience all this stuff and it's never happened. You're not even close to it. You're just one strategy away from being a multi-millionaire, and you're experiencing these unrealistic emotions because of fear.
You know, one thing that I can relate to, Dr. Ann, is for us that are a little older, if we had parents that were anywhere near the Depression era, that food thing is real, because they would freeze. Like, if you had anything left over and it wasn't eaten, it was going to go in the freezer. The freezer, you had the refrigerator freezer, plus you had a chest freezer growing up, and it was full because it was that psychological thing. Right. Like, I've lived through lack, and I'm not going to experience that again. I've lived through having to ration out things, and I'm not going to live through that again. Right. So it's a real thing.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Awesome work. Awesome work.
Wow.
I think it's cool too that you, Dr. Ann, had mentioned performance and everything, because one of the things that went through my mind over the weekend was the 5 P's of success. If anybody's ever heard of that, and what it is proper preparedness prevents poor performance. And it's like, you know, it's putting in that chart time. It's analyzing the charts, learning how to do your support resistance, your trend lines, learning how to read the indicators and everything to put you in a position to where you can win. Because the market, like I was thinking about it over the weekend, like the market wants you to be in that state of fear, be confused, not knowing what to do, have that paralysis, make trades that are not going to go your way. Like the market wants to take your money. And so being in that perpetual state of fear, anxiety, not knowing what to do, that it'll do just that. It'll take your money. But if you conquer your fears, you have the proper preparedness, you go into the markets with an ease of mind, you're going to do a lot better in the markets. Don't let the markets get you all frazzled. That's what it wants. But if you can conquer that, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
There's so much to unpack there.
we can spend all morning on that. Because it's necessary. It's necessary. And Tisha talked about this Thursday with when she was talking about Gideon, is that one of the things is that you had to get rid of the fear. It was one of the things that they had to get rid of. And it's so important to pay attention to that. Fear is not informing your decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. Dr. Ann, we appreciate you. We're going to chew on that all week and the weeks to come. Can't wait for the follow-up and can't wait for a discussion next week. I know everyone's going to be writing down those fears and their thoughts on money. It'll be a good discussion next week.
Now, when you see me take on this opening bell, just know I'm not operating in fear. That's what I'm doing. I'm pushing forward. No fear. Waiting for that 8:30 bell. 100 contracts. Let's go.
We know you have no fear. Like, not at all.
I'm in this trade. But
you have a stop loss.
Now, if I could find a way to turn off the sound on my computer so you won't hear that bell sound when I enter the trade, I'll be good.
No. I just assume you're doing it either way.
Just assume I'm in a trade. Like right now, as she was, no, I was saying I'm not in a trade right now.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Well, awesome. Tim, we got a little disclaimer we got to put up there because we're about to go into our red zone. We're about to dig into the charts, analyze, take a look at everything that we see on those charts, and we may play some live trades this morning. But we've got a disclaimer: trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all individuals. Any live streaming of trading activities is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Hopefully you guys are entertained. The content provided is not intended as a financial advice and should not be construed as such. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. This host of this live stream do not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any information presented and shall not be held liable for any losses incurred as a result of trading decisions made based on the content of the stream. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Viewers participate in trading activities at their own risk. Do your own research, people. Learn how to trade, chart with us, make informed decisions. That's what that means. But we are entering into our red zone. Let's go.
Red zone.
Listen, it's got me going already, y'all.
And I almost took a trade. It was just after the devotional, and had I done it, I'd have hit my goal for the day, and I'd be done.
Ooh.
It was a bit of a counter trade, but I just, because I've seen this set up a million times, and it's gone against me enough times, it's like I totally know that it's going to keep going this direction, but. I kind of have an idea. I'll share my chart because I kind of have an idea.
Yeah, I got to see this
to do, and it's platinum here. So let me.
Yeah, I should have guessed it.
We knew it was platinum, Billy. We knew it was platinum.
Yeah,
the platinum dime. We knew it was platinum.
Let me take a look here. Yeah. All right. This monitor here. All right. Can y'all see the platinum screen here?
We see it.
All right, cool. So let me go to the hour chart. So what I was looking at here was we were starting to make this double top here, and then we almost had an engulfing candle here, and we had like a baby shark fin, like it touched the 75 and it broke outside the band. And so I was thinking we're like overall we're bullish on platinum, but I was anticipating a pullback about to the 1 hour 50. And what I was looking at here, I was looking at this 15-minute here, and we've got these fair value gaps all here for buys. And then, we were coming down, and then we've got our VWAP down here. And then we've got these MAs down here. So it's like, you know, why would we not retrace down somewhere there for a good pullback into the market? And then what I was looking at here on the 5 minute, and this is what made me get in it, or made me think of getting into it, was as we were coming down to the 50 moving average, and it looks like, because our TDI was down here, you know, from our last low here, we're divergent and all that. And it looks like we should have had a trend continuation pattern, but it was just stalling out here. It just didn't look like it was going anywhere. Like Tim likes to say, failed auction. Bands were opening up, and the last time we came off of the 50, you know, was back here. So technically we were divergent, but it just had that bearish sentiment, like it needed a better pullback into the market, especially after this bull run, to continue higher. And because what I've seen here is when it comes back to that 50, if there's no good structure, the TDI looks like it could be divergent, but it's not clear and stuff, that a lot of times it's just going to fall through that. And with our VWAP down here, I was anticipating it falling through that and coming down to the VWAP. And it may just take off from here, but I'd like it to come back down here to the VWAP, if not the 5 minute 800 moving average, before taking that buy, which is in the middle of a lot of these fair value gaps for the buys. And then on the 1 minute, what I was looking at here was we were starting to get real tight in here on our TDI, and then we broke out of that TDI right here with a nice clean peak, and then it started dropping. And it's like, you know, they originally, here, let me move that box, get that out of the way. Originally my entry was, I was thinking about here, but I was kind of looking at that TDI to see, you know, what it was looking like. And as it came up, that would have been that perfect entry as it broke outside of that to bring that to the downside. Going for that VWAP down here. Actually, no, I take that back. My take profit was actually just below where this had turned around at. But I'm still anticipating it coming down here. So my next entry is probably going to be somewhere around the VWAP or the 1 minute 800 to go in for that buy. It's about the same spot as the 5 minute 200 800 here. 50 200 and the 1 hour 50 there. So that's my anticipated area of support to continue that higher for the overall bull run.
So why did you take it? Why didn't you take it?
It was kind of one of those, I was waiting for the entry and I looked away from the screen, and then when I looked back, it was already on the move. It was like, I get nervous about entering in too late, because it's like, you know, it's always got that one last retest, and so it was just one of those, I just missed it because I looked away from the computer.
Yeah. And,
you know, I watched it for like 15 minutes waiting for it to get to the right spot. And because I have terrible timing, it was one of those, it did it right as I looked away for a minute. But that was a pretty good one. Had I taken it, so let me get rid of this box, put this one back right here, which is let me go to the 1 minute here. So had I taken that and that hit the daily goal or the profit area right there, which I think now it's probably going to, I was anticipating probably doing 5 mini contracts on that, and that would have been about a $1,600 trade right there at 5 mini lots. And so just over 1.5%, I'd have been done. Probably if I got into the trade and was watching it as this was coming down and it created this shark fin on the 1 minute, I may have gotten out early. So it may have been, you know, $1,500, $1,400, $1,300 or something. that would have been a great day. That would have started the week off very well. I'd have hit my daily goal, and I may not have traded for the rest of the day unless it was like an A+ setup.
Billy, there'll be another one.
What's that?
Another one.
There'll be another.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I'm not mad. You know, I used to get mad about missing stuff like that, but it's like it's Monday morning, it's first thing in the morning. Like we got all week to trade. You know, there's going to be more things coming.
Oh yeah, we could find another one.
Yeah, but I just wanted to share that kind of the analysis on that, and then the anticipation of when it comes down here, if it does, to get into buys on platinum.
Cool. I want to share this. I just want to point out real quick on DXY where we're at right now is I think it's going to be very telling, and it's going to be important for today because all week we were talking about, and let me cut this down just a little bit. All week we've been talking about this consolidation range that we've been in, and last week we broke out of that range. We were either going to break out of the range high or range low. We broke out of the range low, and DXY came down and hit this old resistance level, turn support, and so we're going to retest that today, which is pretty important. If DXY is going to fall out today, we're going to retest that, and we're going to see if more than likely 105 is going to hold, but we're going to see if that's going to hold or not, and possibly come up and retest this old support and then continue to the downside. But process-wise, we're thinking that dollar is going to short until we get some news. And so I've been looking at gold and looking at some of those metals for the buy. So when you were talking about platinum possibly getting buys off the VWAP, I think that'll be a good play. But also on some of these, and you may see me take an opening bell just based off of this analysis, is that a lot of these are looking very bullish, and it's just a matter of where we get in at. And so daily VWAP has been giving us a nice daily average or session average for price, and so I think we do got to see what happens when we get around that range. But on gold, last week we were talking about 2,300 being hit, and it was, and now then heading to the upside. I think that breakout is going to be retested around that daily VWAP, and us possibly getting entries to the upside off of that. So as you were talking about platinum, I was looking at gold to see where that's going to fall in line with the grand scheme of things. And I think this retest here around 23.15 could be interesting today to see if that holds, and if that session anchor VWAP holds and we head to create a new high, or at least retest the range, this current range that we're in. So in relation to the DXY, I'm paying attention to that, just taking the adverse action. If DXY falls and we're somewhere in this around the gold, to take a heavy charge up to retest this and possibly even further. So,
I was anticipating a similar move on gold as well.
Yeah. No, it looks pretty silent. I know we got some gold traders that's in the building today for that. I'm also looking at S&P. This run last week was just crazy. We got it was really NAS and S&P got some really early entries. I mean, if we look left, I haven't really erased what we've been looking at, but just pulling out some of these liquidity zones from the past that we were looking at and pulling that over, then finding liquidity on current volume. Those really pushed up to create the new highs. And so presented some great opportunities there, but there's nothing in the market that right now that says that we need to retrace. And so I'm still expecting bullish movement today on S&P. If you look at this old resistance that we're currently on, or this old support, that turned resistance that we broke through that could be retested as support to the high side is something that I'm looking for on the higher time frame, that this trend would continue. So if we pull back to retest that on S&P, I'm looking for those plays as well. And then on NQ, on NQ as well. So we broke through, and a lot of these are larger time frame moves. Where we hit resistance was old support, and now that's turned into resistance. And so there's a strong chance that we could break through that. But the pullback to retest before we do that is could be a possibility. And so right around 18,000. If we get around 18,000, I would start looking at some buy opportunities on NAS as well. So those are a couple that I'm watching for today that I'm just going to put at red. Put it on red. Put it on red. So I don't think it's a yellow yet for a go decision. But any pullback here, session anchor VWAP's kind of flat. So any pullback to retest this resistance level would be good, which we already have. Technically, we don't have to again. I mean, we could just head up. So right around VWAP is what I'm paying attention to. Love taking those trades. And then I'm not going to pull those up. I'm just going to leave them where they're at. And it's funny, I got them in watch lists. They should be in indices. I got this, and that should be in watch list. So, and then I'll just check in with gold since we trade, or excuse me, oil. Black gold is oil. I just want to check in with that because we broke through. That 80 was the range that 80 was support, excuse me. And let me pull up micro. No, I like the, we'll just leave it at the E-mini. That was support. We broke through. We've been on somewhat of a trend now. And so now, since we broke through that support, the next zone that we're chasing is this old resistance over here that could act as support. I know we got crude oil inventories coming up, but this is a lot of fair value that needs to get retested. So possibly pulling back up to 80 to be retested before heading back down. So that's also something to pay attention to to see if we keep falling off of this old support and if this old resistance, excuse me, and see if that support holds. So few things to look at today to add to the watch list. Tisha says gold. I know she was successful with that last week. Mia was successful with gold last week. So gold has been a winner for the advancers this past week. We'll see if that continues.
Nice. Yeah, I'm taking a look at gold as well. Denise, a resident scalping US 30 Queen. What are you seeing? You're muted.
I think she's in US 30 right now.
Yep. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've not hit the trade button. I've not hit the trade button. I'm still looking at it. You know, I noticed that on the 4 hour, we're like right at the 200, and we're above the 75 on the TDI. We're actually like in the 80s on the TDI. And I'm thinking, I think it's gonna still continue up for some reason. That 8 hour is broken through the 800. And then but I think it's gonna come down sometime this week. It's gonna come down. It's just a matter of like when, right? There's there's a huge gap on the daily. And if you want, I can share my chart right quick. Let me move this. And then I can bring this up. Hold on there. Let me see where the present button is. Okay, share screen. And Chrome tab. Okay. I think that's window. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm figuring it out. Believe it or not, I am figuring it out. Okay. So there we go. So there's a huge gap right here on the day, which I hadn't really paid attention to that before. If you guys can see it, like right here, that huge gap. And then there's another one on the day, like right here. And I really hadn't paid attention to that in the last couple of days. So when I'm looking at this on the TDI, we've still got room to go up, to make that shark fin. Let me see if I can correct this. But what's telling to me is that just as we're going to make that shark fin on the day, when I look at the week, we will probably go up a little bit. We won't go up to, the top. We're going to come down. So that 4 hour, and forgive my little vertical lines here, that was my little back testing area. So that 4 hour, we're right at that 200. And I'm really thinking, and the 800, I can remove these so people don't get, but those were my gap areas off the day. And we're right at this 800. To the left, we've got all this action up here. So I'm thinking we might push up just a little. For me right now, it's really hard to tell. I'm just trying to wait to see how this shark fin is gonna play out here. But it's still in the top half of the TDI. So I feel like it's gonna continue up. And then at some point, whether it's today, the VWAP is right here. It's gonna come down to here. That's the 1 hour VWAP right there. That black line. So I'm really, even this morning, like on the lower time frames, when we look at it, even this morning, this was a good, that was 3. I wasn't up at 3. I'm gonna just say that I wasn't up at 3 to catch that. Yeah. But like, since we've been on the call, this is 650 right here. That would have been a nice little move. At 650, because we would have closed at it. It would have taken a few minutes because of, no volume. But that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. But still 35 minutes in a trade to make whatever you're going to risk, not bad, right?
What are you looking at to say that's a good move?
So here, this little, because we've had previous resistance here, like it came up, hit this resistance, consolidated. My little yellow block here says this is where it kept bouncing off of. right here, that little sharp, that little tight pointed, I still call it a sharp finish just on the lower time frames. You might not get it to come back down to the 25. But here, I know it's still going to go up from my higher time frames, right? I know it's not ready to come back down. So anything up here, I could have seen that it's not ready to come back down. So on the 5 minute, this hitting off that support again, and I'm above the 21, I'm above the 50, and the 21 and the 7 are nowhere near like crossing. I know it's going to go up. So that to me would have been enough to say that's a possibility. On the 1 minute, I'm right here at 650. Again, it comes up, it retests that, and I'm still above the 50. And actually, it kind of rejected off the 50 through here. So I know I still have the ability to go up. And this is above the 50 on the TDI. So that would have, to me, said I'm still higher. It's in confluence with the higher time frames. I still know it's going to go up.
Yeah, I agree that this is definitely pushing up. And it's just a matter of, do we want to pay that expensive price to get into the longs?
Yeah. And for me right now, because of how the TDI is set up, even on the 4 hour, I'm not sure that I would pay the price like to start off my day with a buy, because it could come here and reject. Right here, we've had, these candles kind of come through, and I think what I based this off of was to the left. So when I look at this and the rejections here, broke through, retested this higher area, broke through this again, retested. I'm just not. We might hit here and come back down. So I'm not at a point where I can really say, where's the 800 on here? It's below. So I'm not really at a point where I would be comfortable taking, buys. I would still look for the sale, and maybe that sale won't come today. So I might, I just have to see how market opens with no news. I'm good with no news, actually really good with no news, because on the lower time frames, you're still going to have moves.
Yeah.
But I'm just, where we are, I'm not comfortable. There's 32 minutes still left in this candle. So that's kind of my question. I'd probably be watching to see after open, kind of where things sit.
Yeah, I think gold is moving a lot better than indices right now. Pre-market, it has some opportunities coming up. I think what I'm looking at on gold, we have a few different levels here. I'll jump down to the lower time frames, but I want to hit just where we're at. Let me get rid of everything first. All right, so structure wise, high, we produced a low, and that low is really, I guess I can't do it that way, but that low is has been tested, and we pushed to the high, but that didn't really put a didn't break this high yet. So we're currently still in a state of a range where this is low, range high. So what I'm saying right now is that we're trading within the range, but within that range, I think we can find some levels to trade off of. And so what you can see is daily VWAP, excuse me, I keep calling it daily. Is session anchored VWAP is what we're coming down to. This was support before that produced this high. We're currently testing that now, but more than likely we're going to fall through that. TDI says we're going to fall through that now. And so if we fall, where we're going to fall to, and I like this resistance level that we're coming down to. And so keep that in mind that we produced a lower high. We're within the range and that we're coming back down to retest this area. So when I drop down to the lower time frames with that daily VWAP being a target and this line below it, this old resistance being also a target, what you can see is that we're starting to get pretty low here on the TDI, the lower the time frames go. And so now we start to see that divergence coming into play beginning on the 15-minute as we head down. So now I'm starting to think about buys in this potential area on gold. I like to see that as it starts to come down. So the lower we go down, the more we can see that buys could be possible once we get around here, just because we're going to start getting some divergence here pretty soon. So I just wanted to mark those levels out, and then VWAP is session anchor VWAP is going to be at play, and then this level here is going to be at play too. But I think there's some scalping opportunities just based on just the little bit of movement that we're getting on gold on the lower time frame. So we're going to see if we get the rejection here off of support, and then we could just follow the ranges from that point. Because there's really nothing going on in the market right now. So these type of plays become just finding the range, knowing where it's going on the higher time frames, scalping these type of ranges. So right now you can see on the 30-second, 1 minute, how we're just in this range right here. We'll break through, retest, and continue to head down to the downside. So those are going to present some opportunities. Not high quality, but still something to look at as it begins to set up. This is the ultimate target, but this is also a target here just because we're retesting this previous resistance level. And it is holding for the most part. So I'm going to put the trade box on this as a possibility that's of what we could see. And I'm playing off of this DXY here too, because DXY is falling out right now. And it should find some support here pretty soon, but falling out currently. So that's why we're getting the gold buys. So I am playing off of that as well. So not expecting support to hit too soon. That's why this level and this VWAP is important. So what's your thoughts on that? It may be playing out kind of now, this retest.
Yeah, I was thinking that if this area doesn't hold as support, that the next area for that is like the 1 hour 50 is below our VWAP. But if you put the bands on the VWAP, the lower band of it is just below the 1 hour 50 and the 15-minute 200. And that was previous resistance that could hold as support at that level as well. So that could, and then it's right in the middle of a fair value gap on the 1 hour as well.
So you're talking about the session anchor bands on the VWAP?
Yeah. So if you turn the bands on, And then you go to your 1 hour, that 50 MA is right there. And then that was previous resistance with a fair value gap and all of that as well. So I think you're right. If this area doesn't hold and it comes down further, that may be the next area of interest for buys.
Yeah, and the reason why we're treating it on a lower time frame, there isn't really a news event that is occurring. We see the DXY fall, and that's the reason why we're looking at this being a possibility. And so yeah, now it's starting to play out a little bit. And yeah, this area is where that rejection will probably take place if we're going to go to the downside. But we offer this retest, it could be coming to the high. And the only thing that it's reflecting is, yeah, I think we're kind of missing this right now. The only thing that it's reflecting is what DXY is doing as it begins to fall. And so those two are playing off of each other. So this 15-minute divergence is what's playing out, which will probably end up producing a new high. We may get a retest, doesn't look like it. Or at least coming up to this trend line to retest it. So good move just to watch it play out. Right off of that retest. And that's what it's rejecting off of right now. Four hour is acting as yeah, we would need to climb on top of that, but that session anchor VWAP is finding support. And if we climb on top of this 4 hour 50, we definitely could be coming a lot higher as the DXY retraces. And that's really just an easy move to have play out. You see the DXY falling. What are you going to turn to? Let's turn to gold. All right, I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. I think I'm going to be trading gold today. So I want to get rid of a lot of these levels and just look at what's going on currently. Because this is just range trading right now. Even though it's a good move, it is just a range that we're in right now. And so really what we're paying attention to is this old resistance level here. That's right below session anchor VWAP. And then we're also paying attention to the last highs that were created. And so that's really the trading range. And then also what we're currently doing is finding the retest of this old resistance turn support. So those are really the two things that are important when we look at this of what's currently going on. When we're looking at these at this buy that's currently playing out. And it's pre-market. We're not expecting this to go to the high of the runoff right now, but this is the range that we're currently in. So we're coming to the high of the range, possibly catching shorts to the low of the range once we get up to this level.
Yeah, I was just looking at the DXY, and it is like, it looks like it's just going to continue to fall today. So that might be a good, indicator. It's got a fair value gap in it, but I mean, it does have fair value gaps, buy fair value gaps, but they're like below the 800 on the 1 hour. So I don't think it's questionable. It's questionable today.
Yeah, it looks, yeah, it's yeah, we're definitely falling out. It's a matter of if some of this value gets retested, but
Yeah.
no, we're definitely falling out.
Yeah, and that's what makes me kind of think, it might be a buy day for indices too, again, just based off of that. But again, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming down to a range where we're retesting some of these old highs. So it's not out of structure, but this double high and this break of support tells us that we're in a downtrend. So the only thing that we're expecting now is that if it does retrace, that it retests the old support as resistance. If it does retrace, it then head to the downside at that point. But in between that time, we can be in on these buys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we're at the top of the range right now on gold, and we're gonna see if this level is holds up. I'm just gonna scan through, just make sure that we're not touching any major level here. Always important to do. And at least not at this level. We're not. And we're also somewhat of within this range. This breakout range is kind of being retested right now as well. It's actually a little higher. So this old support was tested once. We're going to come up against that again and see where that's at. Yeah, that's a little higher up, which is really around this level here. Around 2340. All right, so that's a possible, but right now that's the range that we're in. And we're just going to see if this gets if this is broke here, which is setting up for the sales to the bottom of the range. But we like that it's coming off that 15-minute 50 divergence. It's going to produce the new high of the day. And so let's just see where we're at here. This pulled back to 23.6 and immediately went to take profit there. We'll pull to the next level. This pulled back to 61.8. And so take profit is right in that liquidity zone right there. Right in this liquidity zone, which is the past peak. And that looks like where we're headed to. And so how do we get there? We break this level, come back, retest this level, and head to the upside. Right. And just to reiterate some of the things that we've been covering, because it's a little past tense, but just to hit on this so everyone is aware of this strategy of where will we get in here. This was the low that was put in, so it pushed down, and now it's going to create a new high. And so if you look at that, we've been reiterating this over the past week, is the anticipation is that this level is going to get retested. This green candle is what produced that retest, that produced the high. And so that becomes the new liquidity and liquidity zone. And so as this goes up to push for the new high, once that breaks, you can enter in there. But then also we can look for this area to be retested around here if we're looking to get back into the buys. All right, so that's the play on gold as it heads up, and we're just watching it get up to this liquidity zone. There.
Yeah. I know, Denise, you gotta run shortly. Before I let you go, what is your goal today? And I already know it. We already know it. But, what's your goal today? What are you trading? Let's go.
I'm trading US 30. Looking for 1250. I think it's doable today. Even, on the lower time frames is doable. Might take me a little bit longer, maybe 30 minutes. No, just kidding. But I'm looking for 1250 today on US 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You advancers, have an awesome day.
Yeah.
Do not forget to tell a friend and the friend of a friend and the cousin you haven't talked to in like a year to subscribe to Advanced Kingdom TV. You guys have a great day.
You too. You too. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Yeah, this was a good move. This was a good buy move. We got in, or we looked at it a little late, but I just like looking at this play out. 3 minutes.
Platinum's been getting into a tight little sideways range on the 1 minute there. So I'm wondering if it's gonna, as I'm talking, it's starting to go up. But I was thinking, if we missed it on gold, we might be able to catch it on platinum.
Yeah, a little different. I like platinum. Yeah, a little different just because it's a utility pair, so it's not economically driven where you get DXY retracing and you start to look at it. So the levels are going to be a little different, but still the same premise as if US dollar's weakening, that could be a retracement period where it will find support.
Yeah, I'm like, right as I said that, we had this big green candle on 1 minute. It's like, no, we're going to take off without you.
Yeah, it looks like you'll probably get another opportunity on platinum. With this it's a little different. I mean, this double top here is what you have to pay attention to. That could be liquidity. Right there. That could be liquidity. But if we break right through that, then it also could be support. So if we break through that and possible retest, if you don't catch it off the bottom, the retest could be another opportunity. And so, that's what, if you are looking for buys here, it's the same thing where it'd be the opportunity would be here. That's the candle that produced the low. That if we break through that and come back and use that as support, that could be an entry into that trade to the upside. And if not there, as we break this and retest it, it could be a trade. And that's why I like those kind of movements, is that on the retracement, we just hit take profit on gold. Yeah, that was a good lower time frame move there. But if you're looking for that on platinum, I'm going to be looking for that on gold. If you're looking for that on platinum, we're going to break through this liquidity, because that's the higher time frame that produced the low. And that's really what you got to look for, is that not if it is going to produce a high, it has to break through this first and then retest it. And that's usually how you get the head and shoulder or inverted head and shoulder patterns, is liquidity puts in a low, and then it comes and retests that liquidity zone and then push to the high. And from a pattern standpoint, it looks like left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And then on the inverse as well. And you can sort of start to back test that to see, like over here, let's just say that we thought this was going to go low, just based on these shark fins are coming up over here. And what happens is uh, you get the spike up, and that red candle that produced that spike up is right here. And so then that liquidity zone gets broke, but then it gets retested right here. That would be the entry into the downside. And so it's kind of the same here. If you're thinking it's going high, then we would need this to be broke first and then push down and then to the high. You can speculate that this is going high right now, but the better move is for it to retest, which this hasn't given us a retest. So I may trade this here, this 5-minute shark fin, because this is what we call fair value, that these orders are left open and are going to come be refilled and probably refilled down to the VWAP. So this retracement could be pretty big. Yeah, that retracement could be coming right back down here. So we may end up taking a look at this one. Yeah, higher time frames are saying that. You have the 4-hour in alignment with that. The 1-hour TDI is in alignment with that right now with the divergence. We're coming off of this liquidity zone. 45 minutes says it. And there is that 61.8 sitting up there. That could be touched. So let's put the idea on at that. That's what we like it. Short. Just pulling up above the 61.8 level and taking this back down to VWAP.
Yeah, I like that move. I like that. I actually might look to take that as well.
This could be something. All right, well, let's wait for the lower time frame to shape up. We got divergence though. So this next candle opens up in 15-minute candle opens up in 8 minutes, but this could be the entry right here. Let's see. Let's see how much it's going to cost. Is this an $1,100 move? I don't think so. Let's get in on it. Let's get in on it. Let's get short. All right, I got 8 contracts on at this current level. So that's right here that I'm at right now. And this is the first test right here. Coming down to 23.32. So we'll see if this is short-lived or not. But I like that liquidity zone, how it rejected off of that. And now we're starting to come down. And so we're trading this 5-minute shark fin that just began, and we're carrying this down to the daily VWAP. And so right now we're in profit. We got a bad entry here, so we're not going to move the stop loss right now. We're risking 912. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put me at break even. I think I want a better price if it comes back up. So let me put it at break even. Let it play out for a little bit. We'll let it play out for a little bit. But right now is the retest of this support line that we're currently on. So this was the high. We broke that high. We're coming to retest that high right there. And we got 50 seconds left on this this candle, this 5-minute candle. Yeah, these look good. Looks like we were going to come back and retest this. That's why I'm not moving my stop loss right now.
Yeah, I didn't get in. I was waiting for a better price, but we're gonna see.
Yeah, it looks like we may get one off of the 1-minute candle. The 1-minute candle may create some divergence. So we'll see how this next one opens up. And while that's going, we'll see that, yeah, DXY is just retracing up to the 1-minute 50. That's why we're getting the kind of this movement right now. So this is a counter trend move that we don't want to be in too long.
Guys, well, I hate to do it. I gotta cut it early today. I gotta get Liam some breakfast, and then Scarlett unfortunately missed the bus, so I gotta run to school.
Come on, Scarlett.
It's only like the 3rd time she's done it in her whole middle school career. So, and she's in 8th grade, so I can't beat her up too much over it.
Yeah.
She's actually a really good, responsible kid, way more responsible than I was at that age. So,
understood. Yeah, that's not hard to believe. That's not hard to believe.
Yeah. She got the best of everything I wasn't at that age.
No.
Before you, what's your goal today? What you looking at?
Yeah, I'm gonna try for 1,000 today, but if I get anything over 500, then I'm not gonna risk that 500. I might if I get up like 700, maybe I'll risk that 200 to try to get up to that 1,000. But anywhere between 500 and 1,000 is the goal, and it just depends on the setups that we got. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, do you think, Bill?
All right, guys. Well, I'll stay logged in just in case I can rejoin you guys here in a bit. But if I can't, everybody have a great day, trade safe, and we'll see you in the morning.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah, this one's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Now we just needed to drop from here. I'm actually going to move it to break even. Because I'm like you, I want that better price to come into play. So I'm slightly in profit. I moved it slightly in profit.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see if it pushes back up or not. But
I like it. Let's roll. Let's go. We got to break this level. We got to break this last resistance level here.
Yeah, that's a nice. That is nice.
There it goes. Break right through there. Break right through it. So I was this week because I've been trading micro charts for a while. Mm-hmm. This week, what I've been considering is I still don't want to go to the E-mini. I want to stay on the micro, but I'm going to start increasing my risk a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Responsibly increasing my risk, because I've been using really light risks with futures, but on Forex, I do more risk.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to match that with futures. Is do the equivalent amount of risk where I can risk 1%.
Yeah.
In lieu of risking, 0.5% or 0.25%, with these type of trades. Now, if you look at it and with the scalping strategy that a lot of people use in the group now.
Yeah.
A part of that, we were talking last week about risk, and a part of that risk is the amount that they put on to make their 1250 is, I think, 10 contracts.
Yep, 10 contracts, 10
And that,
e-mini contracts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 10 e-mini contracts. So on the micros that I trade, that would be 100 contracts.
Yeah. Okay.
So you think about it, right now I have 8 contracts on gold. They would be putting 100 contracts on for that. And so, I was looking at it. I'm not going to go that far into it, but I am going to start increasing my risk just a little bit. It's just a little push that they're giving me to start increasing my risk.
Well, Tim, I can't even really say anything to you because I've been doing it. so probably the last maybe 2 weeks, I've been increasing my risk. I actually been exclusively.
Take a little bit off here. I'm gonna take half the position off.
Oh yeah. I've almost exclusively gone, back to my bread and butter US 30, and I've started trading on the E-mini. Now, I have gone in with 10 contracts, like maybe once.
Come on, spill the beans, spill the beans. What you been doing? What you been doing over there, man?
But I've kind of settled between the 5 and 7 contract range where I'm comfortable. On the
E-mini. So that's like 50 to 80 contracts on.
I know. Yeah.
The micro.
Listen, man. they pushed me a little bit to do it too. Now it's obviously you're not taking a ton of trades when you're doing that.
Have a great
those
day.
Small movements, they really add up. Now the habit I've kind of into doing is, when I get in profit or to a certain point in profit, I am definitely moving my stop loss quickly, because that risk for me, if I'm going in with a 10, risking 1250, that getting my mind around that, I still haven't fully gotten there yet. But if I move my stop loss quickly while I'm in, let's just say I'm up, 500-700, something like that. Get it in profit, I'm okay.
Okay.
But yeah. So I have been doing like the 5 to 7 range. On Thursday when I did, I went in with 5 contracts and did 650, something like that. So.
I get it. It's a why not? And I think for me it was, with coming over the futures from Forex, no problem. I'm putting on the lot size is big, and I'm comfortable with it, used to it. Futures, with the trailing drawdown and different things, it's like I don't want to have to be right too often.
Yep.
I am. I mean, I have a high winning percentage, but I don't want to have to lean to that to where, I need to be 70-80% accurate, which I am, but I don't want to have to be.
Yeah. Exactly. Because that 3% trailing, man, that changes the mindset completely.
It does for me, because you can, you're wrong. We were talking about this last week. You're wrong, a few times in a row, and all of a sudden you're like one trade away from blowing the account.
Yep. Which, the way things are set up with Apex, the $50 resets, it's not necessarily that bad.
Right.
My idea to go heavy. So, all
right, I'm gonna take off another half. I was at 8 contracts. Now I'm at 4 contracts. I'm gonna take profit on 2 more contracts. All right. And then so I'm up a couple hundred on the day right now.
Nice.
Goal for this one is just $500. And it's like it's like that for me. It's like low risk, type stuff, this is the way I like to trade.
Yeah, that was a really, really good setup. I'm still taking. I was looking for a entry, but kind of moved on from gold right now. I feel like it's done what it's going to do. Keep taking it.
We could potentially retest the high and then come back down. I think that 5 minute hasn't gone anywhere. So I'm just going to put the alert there if we come back and retest.
Okay.
And it's going to fill this order here now in profit shortly. So then I'll be 100% out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, but what you looking at?
I just flipped back over to US 30.
All right, so now it's
pushing down a little bit.
See how I had to manually do that?
Yep.
It hit the stop, and then I had to manually do it. So that's one of the glitches that with Trading View is that those stops are supposed to take you out of position, but sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah, I've had it where it just takes out a partial position. It'll take a partial and leave the rest, and then like it's just weird. Just take me out, like take me out completely.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
you say you're looking at US 30, huh?
Yeah, I took a look at that. Looks like it's pushing down on us a little bit. I know we had it bumping up against the 1 hour 800. So I kind of expected it to push down.
Yeah. Which is does look good. That 1 hour looks good. 4 hour looks good. I mean, it's I like to take the next candle, but it looks like it already retested it a few times. Yeah, 5 minutes falling pretty fast, so that's what tells me this is going to be a retest of potentially this area here.
Yeah. Let me see. I think that may be the area I have marked off too. Yep.
Yeah, that 3 minute 50 right there is potentially getting in there for the high because it looks bullish.
Yeah, on that 1 minute, it's kind of best in that area. It looks like a previous low is retesting on that 1 minute right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dr. Ann was talking about the fear thing on the call, and I think that I want to make sure that I'm using wisdom on the futures. I'm not operating out of fear. Yeah, this is a good buy actually right here.
Yeah.
Let me move this up because we're probably retesting this one.
Yeah, that's why I said it was retesting a minute right now. Yeah. And I actually took a buy there this morning while we were going through things and ran that up.
Oh, okay. You got in this run?
Yep. I got in there. I didn't run it all the way, but I actually had my trade box, literally running it to where it went. So actually it went above where I had it going. So this may be a good area.
Tisha said, "Let the truth set you free." Tisha, he was telling on himself this morning. I was like, I know he taking it. And see, they get on me about the morning bell. They're taking these big contract sizes out here.
And that's what I said, Tim. I just got to confess, like I've been getting on you, but Listen, I know we're all doing it. We're all doing it a little bit. So
yeah, it's something I'm used to. I take heavier contract sizes, and it's a mixed bag because I'm trying to remain conservative for those that are just starting out. You don't want to paint the picture of like you can hit these $10,000 days, but that's what we've done in Forex. Is like 4-figure days, 5-figure days are common. And but you got to go in a little heavier. And it's like, I know we got a lot of new individuals watching us. Don't necessarily want to do that all the time with them, but you may see me going a little heavier. And I have taken on the micro, 100 contracts on a move, like on when NAS is moving. I took 100 contracts on that before, or 50 on that before.
Well, it sounds big, but it's micro. Like,
it's micro, yeah. So it'll be like 5 or 8 on the E-mini chart.
Yeah. No, I definitely started on the micro, and then start just kind of scaling up. I think I got up to like maybe 40, 50, somewhere around there. And then I'm like, man, if I'm doing this much on the micro, why not just go to the E-mini? We got a good, I was gonna say we got a good reaction right there.
Yeah, it's a nice retest of that. At least just to give you room to, like, if you want to take your move your stop. But yeah, here's the thing: is that low's put in, and now we've broken through this liquidity here, and so that should be the retest zone, which is basically the major retest zone. Okay, I'm on a 30-second watching this one. So how many contracts do you have on this one?
Got 10.
on the E-mini?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
No, it ain't no okay. All right, go ahead. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared.
See that, and that's the thing about it. You have to. It's an advanced strategy, but especially if you're doing a 1-to-1, you'll hit to 1250 really quick. You can also lose 1250.
I know, but absolutely, I do know that I didn't get the best entry on this too. Like, I should have kind of gone in a lot sooner, because I'm actually not in profit yet. So I'm only down 100. Like, I missed the entry, which I don't like, and I probably shouldn't necessarily be in this trade now on where I got in, but we're gonna see where it goes.
Yeah, that 5-minute looks good though. I think you have some good it's US 30, so it's gonna wick around. But I think that 5-minute divergence that's here is gonna play out.
Yeah, I'm giving it room. I got 1250 to play with, so let's see.
Yeah. Now, you don't want to go any higher than the 5-minute and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because the 15-minute shark fin is working against you, and the hour. So this 5-minute has to play out right away, then you can jump out of it. So we'll see if that 3-minute. Where's your stop loss at?
I did a 25 tick stop loss, so
okay.
I've got it. Pretty much have it at the 38,959.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right where I got my stop loss, because it pulls below this last liquidity dip here.
Yep.
And it gives you enough room to retest this zone over here.
Yep. Yeah, trying to give it enough room
there
because
it goes.
of stuff like that. Yeah, because it wicks.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a failed auction up here, so you know the 15-minute doesn't look good, the hour doesn't look good. So really, the only thing that you have in your favor is everything below the 5-minute.
And see, I get to a point like this where I want to cut my losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think I actually am going to.
Yeah, because this, you know, I'm not going to tell you to do it, but this
I
is,
did it.
yeah, yeah, it's better just to reserve that, you
Yep.
know, because it's, there is a lot working against this
Yep.
trade on the higher time frame. Like once you start getting up to the 15-minute, now the shorts is counter trend, but this 15-minute and above starts to these shark fins is what you're fighting against.
Yeah.
And we're closing. We may close below this 1 hour.
I minimized my loss a little bit, so I took a 550 loss on there.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
Right.
That's not bad. Now, so that new, it'll just be a retest of this area is the new area. It would need to break that and come down and retest it to get in on the buy. So I'm gonna leave that there as entry if I'm interested into the buys. All right. So yeah, that was a good exit on gold. It looks like it played out a bit and then retested this area, and now it's heading up, which means that DXY must be still coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those you know, I like taking those miniature losses like that. I was like, you know, you could it's easy to make that 550 back.
Yeah. No, and like once you see where the trade was going, it didn't make any sense to hold on to it and take a 1250 loss. So
yeah.
Tisha say high roller.
High roller. High roller.
Listen, I did this. I did this for the cameras. On the regular,
are you not entertained?
I know. The regular, I am not messing with the 10, but yeah, it looks like it's gonna push back up. There it is.
Is it going?
It looks like it's
Yeah, that's the expectation is lower, and so now because you're gauging it, so that low that was put in, which is looks like a good buy at that area. The higher time frames is still going to push this down, but now the entry would still be where your entry was last time, but now we want the break and then retest and enter where you entered last time, and then go to the upside.
Yeah, and really thinking about it, if I would have let this play out, right, it never hit my stop loss. Yeah, I would have been.
Yeah, your stop loss is where I had mine, 38,959.
Yep. Yeah, and so that's the thing with the 1-to-1s. Like I've had to, I think when I first started doing this 1-to-1 strategy is trusting it, letting it play out a little bit more than in the past. But as you saw, like we saw it going the other way. Like it's a natural reaction to go ahead and minimize your loss and look for another entry. So
yeah.
But yeah, if I would have held this, it's probably going to end up hitting that take profit. Because I had my right around 38,993.
Yeah, see, it's it's probably not it's the 1-to-1 is a system. Either you're going to buy into it or you're not.
Yeah.
You know, if you're buying into it, then sell out to it. You know, it's like, okay, I'm comfortable with taking this amount of now here's the retest. So here's the break here, and then it comes back to retest this liquidity. But I'm considering this the break of the candle that put in that low. I'm considering this being the break right now, and that was the retest. And it's an expensive price to get in, but there's more confirmation that way.
It is. Absolutely.
But yeah, going off what I said is just that mindset is you have to be completely bought into that sort of risk.
Yeah.
And if you are, then great, you know, run with it. And if you're not, then you do what you just did. Is like, okay, I'm not really about this 1-to-1 life. It's basically what you're saying. It's like, not yet. I'm not really about this life.
Not
let me
completely.
Let me go back to this 2-to-1.
I'm slowly trying to convert, but I'm not there yet.
Dustin's in the chat. What's up, Dustin? How you doing, man? Good morning.
There we go. What's up, Dustin?
In our advanced community, Tamisha just said she made $5,000 on Bitcoin.
What?
This morning.
Yo.
I don't know if you see that.
No, I missed that completely.
Yeah, she just posted in our advanced community.
Wow. That is awesome.
All right, so that's the break there. All right, we're currently getting the retest to see if we take this to the upside, but higher time frames is working against it. Good. What you looking at this morning, Dustin?
I know what he's looking at.
NQ?
It's got to be, yeah. He is an NQ master.
NQ, let's take a look at it. You know, as far as bang for the buck, NQ is offers the most money per tick than everything else. So the movements are a little bit better on NQ. It says NAS gap to the downside. It's rejecting right off of that 1 hour 800, 4 hour 200 right now. I like that. It's a retest of some of this old resistance over here. That's kind of a clean structure right here. Is that it was support, broke through, and this is really the first time we're retesting it. So it'd be interesting to see if this level holds right here.
Yeah.
In Q.
Dustin said, and the most anxiety.
Oh yeah, because it's per tick. I mean, it's you know, it's sort of like what the when we were trading Forex, what the Aussie quotes and the NZD quotes would give us. You know, per pip, it was a little bit more. That's kind of how I look at NQ in the futures market, is that every tick counts with NQ. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, this is going to be a key area to reject off of, especially, you know, you got the 1 hour divergence, 4 hours isn't there yet, but it is what we call a baby divergence, where you have 3 candles. It's a little more than 3 candles though, so it doesn't technically count as that. But we may see the reaction right here. to the short side. And especially if, we're about 7 minutes away from open, especially if DXY begins to push up. If this is support for DXY, which it does look like it, and this does look like this could potentially be support. Let me zoom out, see what I'm looking at. Yeah, it was this old resistance, which really I could draw that as a range of what it's standing on, but it's old support, resistance. We came down and retested it. We couldn't close below this area before. Mm-hmm. And so in lower time frames, it's showing that we may find support here on DXY. If that's the case, NAS may be a good sell-off right here. If we begin to push up on DXY, that we could potentially see, and even S&P as well, that we could see sellers enter into the market at open.
Yeah, we might get that a little more of a push up. Look for that exhaustion.
Yeah, it has to exhaust the buyers first. Yep. Yeah, and there's room for it to push up. You got the 8 hours sitting up here. We got to eat up some of this last candle that's being retested. You know, if you just look at just the retracement from this last candle that was here, that introduced those sales, we're coming into that 50, 61.8 area. So that could be the range, but it could push as high as the 78.6 around 80, 18,218. Deal. Dustin, you should hop on with us for this opening bell. Grab that link that's in the Discord, but I'm not sure what you're doing yet. We got 4 minutes left to the opening bell, and we're going to see. So directionally, I think we have some good setups. We have NQ potential sales to the downside. We got a test. There he is. Look at the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dustin. What's up, man?
Hey, morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. How's it going?
How's it going, man?
It's going. It's been a wild, busy couple of months so far, but it's been good.
Yeah. I know you said you've been busy. Hit the year off running.
Oh man.
To a running start.
It's been wild. But it's been good. You know, it's been productive. It's been challenging in a good way. So it's been a good year. I'm testing so far, but
yeah.
These charts
been something else. I mean, we've been making money on them, but they've been very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. You know, I was kind of going into NAS the first couple of months swinging, looking more so at 15-minute as the entry level, but then the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and it would go my direction after hitting stop loss multiple times, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm getting my direction right, but it's like no, it's those geopolitical and earnings levels are just been strong. I think with the economics, it's just been really, really strong. So it's like you know where you're going, you get the direction right, but gotta be more patient. Can't get in early.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's definitely don't want to be in early. I've noticed that NQ for some reason has extends past the levels where we've seen US 30 and S&P respect the levels. NQ will just go crazy.
Yeah.
And just go to the extremes, more of those buyer squeezes and short squeezes that we've seen before turning around and doing what it should do.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I watch S&P as the reference point for NAS directionally, just because it does respect those levels. Yeah. But one thing I also do is I'm watching all four of the equities. So I'm watching the US 30, I'm watching the Russell 2000. I'm watching the S&P, and then for NAS because it kind of builds a framework. NAS is a bit of a rebellious individual because everything will be going down. It's like, no, I'm going up first, and then I'll go down.
Yeah, no, it has been interesting. So, there is. You mentioned that you've been swinging it a little bit. Are you still have an intraday style? Is it swinging? Are you scalping it, or how are you handling it?
Yeah. So it's interesting. Me and my nephew been working on some stuff, but I actually moved into a scalping, where I'm looking at ORB, which is opening range. The first 15 minutes, I don't trade in that space. Anything that's outside of that, I'm looking for the breakout of the 15-minute range, but I'm trying to take it in the direction of the gap. And so I'll show you once bell opens, because I think we're about to get some.
You have your chart.
Yeah.
Go ahead and present your chart. We can bring that up for the opening bell.
Okay. Share screen. Let me grab the right one. There we go. Oh. There we go.
We got the opening bell.
Yes, opening bell. So I've actually, let me show you really quick what I've done. If you can see it right here at the bottom, RTH, there's an option to actually have pre-market information and then just actual market information once the market opens. And so I've actually switched to that to see the day-to-day gaps. So this is why I was expecting the market to come down and fill Friday's gap. So this is the gap from 8:30 to from the close of Friday to the opening of this morning, just now.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of stocks, stock markets have these gaps. And so I kind of moved my chart to look at that. And I still have, the regular chart open, which is why I was also looking at higher levels of resistance off the 1 hour. We kind of made these lows, and then we're coming back to test those lows. And so that's why I also was looking at that rejection to the downside for the sells. But I wanted to get that exhaustion that we were talking about this morning. So I'm going to wait for the first 15 minutes to kind of make the range, and then I'll take the sells to the breakout, because my expectation is for this to at least gap. If we close the gap and we still have momentum, I think we could push a bit lower. My scalp is only 100 ticks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking for.
Now we got some, Dustin. We got some big spenders that's been on the morning calls.
I heard.
we got some big spenders. So, 10 contracts on the E-mini, which is 100 contracts on my micro, and I'm not there yet.
Look, Tim, I'm right there with you. I can't. It's too rich. I was trading Nikkei. Nikkei does not have a micro. Okay. And every time I get in that trade, I'm sweating through my clothes. I'm heart's racing. I'm palpitating. I'm just like, I said, I can't do this across any other pair. So if I can't take care of it through Nikkei at night with no volume, I can't handle it with volume. So I'm on micros till micros go away.
Yeah. This is an interesting open with really no volume. I'm looking at gold right now. Gold sales.
Yeah.
Down to daily VWAP. And I'm actually was interested in taking that off of the consolidation that was there. And we're starting to get the breakout, but it's really just a retest. So it's not a high probability. One, if we're going to make it down to the session open VWAP, session anchored VWAP, or not.
For sure.
But I was looking at that one. I wanted the move to happen, but we have a low volume type open this morning with really no expectation of news. So we got to see how we move today.
No, absolutely. Yeah, let me see here. It's interesting because we've had some, I've been watching, I don't know if you can see it on my screen here. I've watched the top 4 on NASDAQ, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Nvidia, and they tend to kind of set the tone for each one. I know the S&P, I look at the top 7 on those, or top 5 on those as well. And it's just, we've kind of, where we opened at is where we closed at. It's not really a large gap. There's not really, any big space or big movers. So I think we're just going to have kind of a ranging day today.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of want to pick on Terrace because he was in the US 30 buys. And if he wouldn't have listened to me and closed his trade, with I think you had 10 contracts on.
Oh, yeah, I had 10 on there. Yeah.
That's a few thousand. That's a few thousand right there. So
y'all sitting here talking about NQ and other things, and I'm sitting here watching US 30, thinking the same thing. Like, I could have just held. It never would have hit my stop loss.
Oh man. Oh God. No, it would have been a few thousand a day.
Yeah. It's that one trade would have did it for me. Man.
No, but the sales I think is going to be a lot better from the higher time frame. The sales are going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I was just looking at NBC for US 30. It's got the majority are green. As of right now, I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
30.
8. Yeah, only about 8 that are red right now. So
yeah,
we should be bullish today.
Yeah, NQ came down and almost kissed the VWAP and is now challenging the highs for the day.
Yeah, that's why I expected is it to kind of drain that liquidity to the upside first, and then come down. Let me see something. I want to take a look at these other ones. Give me a second here. All right, so let's look at MES. We're gonna do micros. MYM.
Now everybody done flipped on me. I've been on the panel with e-mini traders that are using the scalping piece. So we're heavy scalpers now. We're heavy scalpers.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like that's just been the nature of the market. I don't necessarily. I think it's like when you're trading every day and when you're looking at the market and you're looking at how news and factors are affecting it. I think it's just a pivot of strategy based on the market. Because there's gonna be a time where after a while we'll see those huge runs, and then you're not gonna be you're gonna be missing out on the scalps and can hold the trade for the whole day. And then you're gonna see some people pivot. Like I'm adjusting my strategy a little bit to hold some and take some out. You'll see it. It just that's the nature of trading.
Yeah. Got your nephew on in the chat, says good morning. I know he's is he big gold NQ trader?
Heavy NQ. I think him and gold have a very rough relationship right now. Gold has been doing its own thing, but yeah, he's he's swing trading in a relative perspective at night the market open. So when we get the rollover, he's actually been swing trading NAS and getting those longer trades and holding through the night. So it's possible. And he's been very profitable with that as well. And getting his push up.
Yeah, that on 30 Terrace, it's been hitting that same liquidity zone and rejecting off of it. It'll be interesting to see if that holds or if we're going to come down a little bit further. If we come down, I'm looking at potential buys around 38.
You want to share your chart, Tim?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So I'm looking at, we're getting the zone that we're wicking off of right now, which is really the retest here. And we marked off this box as potential liquidity and that we're getting the buys off of. It's really just on the lower time frame. I'm still expecting these higher time frame shark fins to play out and come down, but right now I think we're squeezing those shorts right now and liquidating a lot of that before we actually get the move down. So we probably could go higher before we go lower on 30.
Yeah, it definitely is a buyer's market this morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't lament too much over that move because I mean you're just within the range of going high and low. You haven't really put in a significant move on 30 just as yet. I mean, we're trading within this range right now.
Yeah. Hey, if it ranges all day, I'm okay. Like, I'm good with that because I'm getting decent at trading within that range or within a range. So I'll be happy about that because I'll scalp that range as long as I can.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Those lows that are put in are coming to break this liquidity right here, and it's coming back down to retest it. And you can catch that off of that. I've been looking at gold here, and it hasn't given us really direction. But one thing that I've been looking at is this liquidity from. Let me go to the hour so I can pull it faster. So we've been rejecting off of this same range here on there it goes off of gold. So really looking to see if that's going to hold or if it's going to break possible retests on that range. So now that we're breaking it, we'll see if we close above it. And I'll pull my buy chart over and get ready for that. Move this one over. So we possibly, now that we're breaking this range, we could possibly come down and retest this range. And it does look like, we're in a critical area right now because it does seem like DXY could find support here. If it comes down and creates this double bottom or some kind of divergence off of the trend, we possibly could be heading up on DXY. If we find a bottom, I mean, you can consider this zone 105. And so if we climb on top of 105, which is really here, this is 105 right here. So if we come up here, climb on top of that, we could be heading out of the sales on DXY. But we're so close to the session open that it could go either way.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We're not quite ready yet for the sales on NQ. S&P is going to kiss the 800 here, it looks like.
Looks like we did put some of these tops in just temporarily, but we have to see if the buyers are exhausted just yet. It's still early.
Yeah, I would love to be in on a nice sale on NQ for the morning. I could just call it a morning.
That's what I'm waiting for. But I'm going to wait for this range to fill in first. That's the thing that's been getting me for some time is, switching over to some form of scalping. You have these large ranges, especially on news days. It'll either wait till the news or news hits before market opens, and then you got to wait for the squeeze outside the range. And so, gotta give it patience.
Little patience.
Yeah, but I've been hearing about the heavy hitters in the morning.
But they've been killing it though. They've been killing it. It's they're going to introduce. They're still testing it out, but they're going to introduce their one-to-one scalp strategy.
Yeah.
And I've been amazed at the number of challenges that they pass in a short period of time. Nedra actually stopped taking challenges. She's like, okay, I'm done with challenges. I'm just going to trade these funded accounts. Yeah. Dr. Denise trading just the funded accounts. Even Tisha in the chat started her challenges because she's been killing gold. And so just that what's happening in the with them going to the lower time frames and seeing it so well.
Yeah.
I haven't went there yet, but they've pulled a lot of people to the dark side of scalping.
The dark side of scalping. You know, I honestly, I mean, it's crazy, but I think, you know, with the foundation of coming from swinging, seeing the market, understanding the understanding structure, I think that just now allows them to just really refine. So that's so awesome to see that.
Yeah. Nedra's in the chat now, so I had to. She's not on today. She'll be on Wednesday and Thursday, but it's cool to have her and Denise trade their scalp strategy because it's very profitable.
Yeah, I've been, you know, just cheering from the sidelines, man. It's been crazy. Definitely been crazy. You know, I love the fact futures offers that edge where you get real volume and you can watch real volume. You know really what's going on. Futures has a bit of Forex has a bit of a cloud around it, you know, when it comes to volume and what's really happening. And so we have to utilize price action heavy. But futures, you know, it opens up a lot more to be able to do that.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I'm just trying to adjust my risk over from Forex to futures.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to adjust my risk the right way. You know, I was comfortable going in heavy risk on Forex, even with the manipulation in Forex, you know, just not having an exchange. So you're just comfortable with it because you've been trading it for a while. But coming over to futures, it's my risk has been a lot lower, especially with the trailing drawdown. It's not as easy to risk a lot there.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting you say that. I actually moved away from 100K accounts in futures. I'll do it in Forex, but in futures, I moved away from the 100K account because of the drawdown. So it's a 3% drawdown with most prop firms on 100K, but with a 50K, it's a 5%.
Okay.
Yeah. And so mentally, I mean, not from a dollar perspective, it's not too much. You have 3,000 on the 100K, but then you have 2,500 on the 50K. But from a perspective of drawdown, that's 5%, and that makes mentally, it's like, okay, I got 5% to trade this, you know, and I got the micro, so I can scale in. The other side of that was for me, the take profit was literally 6% for both. And I'm like, okay, I got to make $3,000 or I have to make $6,000. I'm going to make $3,000. And so I passed, I used a copier, but I was able to pass 6 50K accounts earlier this year. And kind of got 3 more in the hopper now. And I'm going to just kind of max out at the 20 with Apex.
Yeah.
And then there's another prop firm out there who allows you 20 as well. And so I'm just going to keep pushing until I max out with that, because it just mentally was an easier target, you know, when it came to the challenge. And I could just like scale back, do my thing, and let it ride out.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm doing 100Ks, and I wasn't aware of the 50,000 has a 5% trailing drawdown. It makes sense to do that, but I've been doing the 100K. So, does any of the higher dollar amounts have the still have the 3%, or does it just start at 50K?
I think so. With Apex, every prop firm is slightly different. With Apex specifically, the higher you go with the challenge sides, the lower your drawdown is. So once you reach up to a 300K account, you have 2.5%.
Okay.
And that's where I noticed they're not looking at percentages; they're looking at dollars. So, for example, the difference between a 50 and 100K, which when you're trading, is you get 140 micros on the 100K, but you get 100 micros on the 50. And I'm like, do I really need those extra 40? You know, that's just me. It's everybody's situation or the circumstance is different. Right? You think about it differently. But I'm like, I can give up 40 to have literally 50% less or 100% less than the target. So go from $6,000 to $3,000 target, but I lose 40 extra contracts. Now, you know, I'm not trading minis. So, and I'm not reaching up there to 100 micros either. So, I think I've gotten up to 20, 25 micros at the, but just like those A+ setups.
Yeah. No, it's a interesting piece to look at how everyone's strategy is, and so if you treat it like and I'm short, by the way, on this NQ. I did like the level, and then it's coming up to grab my liquidity, but I have $290 at risk here, so very low risk.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll see if we do it. I kind of want to look at where I'm going to get in on these sales. All right, so that took 290. I was up for a little bit, but I think I'm down now. Let's see. I'm down 230 for the day right now. And I think that may have been the sale, but I'm looking for where the entry is going to be for these sales now. So if you see me going back and forth on this level, I'm trying to gauge where we're at.
No,
but going back to that thought, it's interesting how people treat, how people look at their business model. And that's really what it is a business model. How you handle the prop firms or where you're looking at it. And we just may be in buys now that
I'm waiting for the close on the next 5. Closed just there. Dang it. I was literally getting ready to get in a buy, but it closed. Now I gotta wait for the next 5-minute candle.
Yeah, this is and I see higher time frames of support, and we may be in buy zone. We got this daily 50 hanging out up here.
But US 30 is just doing the complete opposite. And that's where I just I'm watching that because I'm watching S&P 500 kind of double, start doing on the 5-minute, put up tweezer tops here, looks like. And then you got US 30 just pressing the lows for the day. So it's just do we really want to keep going up?
Yeah, see, this is what everything should be doing. I mean, that's what everything says.
Yeah.
It's we should be selling off. And S&P and let's see, S&P. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yep. Yeah. It was just looking for my big 8 contracts.
See, that's the thing exactly. It's always, you called it this morning. You said, NAS tends to just try to find a little bit more liquidity than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. But as far as everyone looking at how they handle it, and it's really not a right or wrong conversation. It's just what people's preference are.
Yeah.
And what works for you. And it's and there's a deal with futures that the cost to entry is a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. So that you can make a few more mistakes, pay the tuition to learning. It's only going to cost you, especially with the sales going on now, it's only going to cost you $40 or something like that a month.
Yep.
Until you're funded, and then you pay the lifetime, or continue on with the monthly. And so cost to entry is really low for you to have the potential to make a lot. And so there's really no wrong answer in how you do it, whatever works for you. And that's what I love is that, especially in Advanced Kingdom, the community is so eclectic in what their preference is. You talk to one trader trading this way, talk to somebody else that's trading a different way, and but it all works. Everybody's profitable.
Yeah.
And so I love that about it. I think what I'm gonna do here is extend the stop loss. I know the daily sitting up here as a possibility, but this looks like a really good sell area.
Yeah, I mean, look, you gotta look at it like this. It's calculated, right? You're going into this with a clear strategy, clear plan. Even if you extend it, you know kind of why you're doing it.
Yeah,
that's the thought process here. I just gotta see this exhaustion happen. Yeah, I mean,
there really isn't any right now, but it's going to happen on. We're pretty close to this 4-hour candle closing.
Oh, true. Yep.
So if that closes with an ounce of, if it has some edges left, I might take this one.
Where is my? Oh, I was like, where's my VWAP? Okay, we're pretty far away on the 5 minute. Yeah, I want to see the exhaustion. It seems like the overall kind of bias here is that it wants to pull down, but it's just gotta draw that liquidity.
Yeah.
But it's like, let me ask you a good question here. How are you about bias switching? Where if you're like, okay, I'm in the cells, and then you start seeing something, are you like, how do you carry that bias throughout the rest of the day? Is it difficult for you to kind of switch up and change?
No, I'll switch up and change in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't use the change feature on TradingView,
Okay.
where the directional change, where I just instantly just drop my order and go into the opposite direction.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Because that to me is more of a gamble. But
yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe price. If like, for instance, on this one, if we on the lower time frames, if the TDI starts ranging, and we go into a consolidation mode, I'll instantly start thinking buys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it on the 5 minute time frame. I feel if we kind of clear these wicks to the upside and close, I'm going long, and I'll take that.
Yeah, that's the only thing is that 50 up there, that daily 50s just seems like a target. My weekly.
But US 30 keeps pressing these lows. It's just the session lows keep coming in.
Yeah, that's where I said that NQ has been the oddball this year with as far as directional bias.
Yeah.
And see, Terrace, this is why I told you to get out of that trade, because I knew this was going to happen on US 30.
I would have been done.
Oh man, I have no clue of what US 30 doing. Whether it's going up, down, sideways. It just got its own bias.
Everything, yeah.
Man, it is dropping. It is drop. Yeah, you would have been done, and you would have been like 5,000 up. One good trade, Mike Belafort. One good trade. You just got to move past it.
That's it.
Make another trade.
Such a mixed day today.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna risk heavy on today, because nothing's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
And if something does happen, I'll probably end up missing it today.
Okay, looks like we're trying to come down a little.
All right, so that candle closed. Oh no, it's closing now. There it goes.
Yes, interesting.
So I'll just throw my 100 micro E-minis on,
right,
and make a few thousand.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm watching a mixed like stock market. I don't know if you guys look at the heat map every once in a while. TradingView has this opportunity. If you open up like a new tab or a new panel, it has a heat map, and you can kind of pick what indice you want to look at. They have the US 30, S&P, and right now it just looks like most of the US 30. I'm sorry, NASDAQ is bullish, and then the US 30 is bullish except for Apple. Apple's slightly down today. So I use that sometimes to kind of look and gauge the sentiment.
You got it on your chart?
Yeah, I can share it really quick here.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. You can see it here. So let me show how to do it really quick. So all I did was this is me downloading the actual trading view on my computer. You don't have to do that. You can do it in your minimized it, but you don't have to do that. But at the bottom here, they have the tools where it says heat maps.
Oh, Tisha just says she just met her daily goal on gold.
Nice.
Good job, Tisha.
Nice. That's how you do it. Find it, get in, get out. Boom.
Get in, get out. She stays on gold. And I think this is her first challenge account this morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she's been killing it on her paper trading. So she's going live on her challenge account. So that's a big deal.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we can break in highs here. I might be getting in on the buys here shortly. But yeah, so this is the heat map. This is the S&P 500. You can see all the green, and that's typically why I look at sentiment. Up here to the left, they got NASDAQ 100. It's 100 stocks, so you can see the greens. You got some reds, but that's kind of why I look at sentiment overall. And so you can check it out as in TradingView. So
that's a good way to get sentiment. Yeah, there we go. Break out to the upside on NQ.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I am in.
Yeah, it looks like the 50 is in play. You just heard my order fill deal up to the 50.
We'll see if we can follow through.
Yeah, I still like the shorts. I'm marking out my liquidity zones on this order.
Yeah. So we're bouncing off of the volume area for the session today, which is interesting. See if we go down. Oh, let me look at, here we go, NQ. Oh, here, let me switch really quick. Oh, I have to switch. Okay, it won't let me switch. There we go.
On your screen, I think you gotta share the actual
okay. Yeah.
Screen.
Let's share again. There we go. Oh, is it shared? No, it's not sharing. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it goes. I got it. Okay.
All right. So this is, what was I looking at here? Oh, let me show you really quick here. Let me get rid of this volume session. So I look at the visual range. Let me get rid of all this other clutter here. So I use the session volume high profile, which is just kind of showing you where the areas of markets interacting at certain levels.
Yeah, I use
One thing I like is the point of control, the POC. The POC is just literally where the most volume for the day is.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I extend it because it tends to also act as a target for previous or for support and resistance. Let me zoom out here and get off this time frame.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Well, what time frame do you like to use on that?
The cool thing about it being anchored to the day, I'm looking at the 15-minute, I'm looking at the 5-minute, I'm looking at the 1 hour as far as the time frames. But you can see they're open ones, and that's the thing that I like to kind of look at as well as far as potential targets. So if I clean up what I have here, let me go to a higher time frame so it can show up a little bit more. So we'll have the open. So for example, like Friday, we had price move up higher, and then it hit this open one from Monday of that week. And so sometimes we'll have that encounter where we'll have the daily one or the one for that particular day that we're trading, but then there's some open ones that price has not come in and tested. And it serves sometimes as a good level of support. I layer it with VWAP as well to kind of see, okay, this is between these two levels, we'll see support to push up, or if we're above it, then it's kind of like we'll find support higher and push up. And so, but I do like to look at it just kind of the open levels that have not been tested yet as potential for where price is could potentially drive to, as an additional area of confluence on that. So like right now, oops, clicking too fast. We're coming back and we're continually testing that level. So if I go down to like the 1 minute just here for a second, you can see if it loads, there we go. We're bouncing right off of that. We have a few touches. Now we break below, we're going to break below. You know, it's like price is going to do what price wants to do, but oftentimes it holds as a support level, and it adjusts real time, you know, as you know. So we'll see if we can, this will hold and then we push the highs. If we close below, you know, these levels down here and these wicks, then we're gonna definitely try to find liquidity to the downside here. So
yeah,
but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
That's that volume area on like the 3 minute, 5 minute. That's, yeah, you're right. That's currently what we're rejecting off of.
Yeah, and I
18.1.
Say that one more time.
Said 18.1 is acting as support.
Yeah, and it's a psych level too. We'll have to see if we hold though, because you know, energy wise, okay. So it looks like everything. Russell's pushing up out of his highs. Russell was very clear about what it wanted to do. But the US 30 kind of hit the lows. Now it's pushing up. So this is kind of what we want to see. And now we just see if we can get S&P 500 to break out of the highs. And I think we should see this push up. That's kind of what I'm looking at. If everyone's in sync and we make a momentum push, I think eventually NAS will kind of follow. But right now, yeah, see, US 30 is coming back up and S&P breaking up.
Yeah, and that range on NAS kind of gives it the accumulation to head up.
Yeah. See how the momentum is coming in on the S&P 500 right now?
Yeah.
We just got to see if we close. Okay, we're closed up there on the 3 minute. And so if we can continue to see that momentum push up, then the rebellious NASDAQ will eventually follow.
Yeah, this isn't
there it is.
There it goes. Now, what's your target? Are you pushing to that 50, or you think we're just going to trend up?
Well, my initial target is the 50. But I think we could then from there push higher. Because I don't see, one thing I was looking at is the intention. Let me go back to you, NAS, right here. This is the thing that I looked at on NAS. We had, hold on, let me switch over to the regular trading time frame so you can see what I'm saying. So this was the open for today. This was Friday's close. And what we attempted to come down and fill it, but that was significant. There's a lot of buying pressure from that point to the upside. Mm-hmm. So that shows the intention that even though we've tried to come here, we would have closed it if it was really sellers in the market. And since there's not, the intention is to see this push higher. So then what's the next level? Let me get rid of the VWAP here so we can clear this up in the session range just for a second. I'm looking at, we have these, this area here, we have previous lows. So if I go back to the electronic trading time frame so we can get all the data, we do have where it's testing now is this area here. I didn't even click anything. That would help if I clicked something. This is kind of a general area, but this is kind of what I'm looking at from this space. I have to click something and it will work. There we go. So this area, this gap right here, this space here, is kind of what we're up against right now. And then if we can clear into this, I think we'll get up to these open spaces up here where we haven't tested just yet. So for the day, I kind of expected with the momentum that's already have, we'll get a push, pull back, and it'll look like it's falling off, but then we double top is what typically will show off. But I see like the tweezer tops here. I think we still have some momentum. One thing, let me show you really quick. The beauty of the volume indicator in futures. This is not working Forex. But if we go down to say something like the 15 minute, you can see that the push up, okay, it's opening bell. and then we had some more volume come in on the next candle. The volume on this candle is starting to go down. So if we're going down, but then the volume's low, then the intention is not there. And so we may see that pullback a little, but I think the intention is still to push higher to kind of test these highs. So that's what I'm thinking. Just watching that volume, and then I mean, we clearly have like US 30 on the 15 is completely clearing up all of its sell momentum. So
yeah, it's not a market that is extremely conducive for you got to be in it. It's one of those things I'm just watching right now. Like the move up doesn't look as attractive to me, just because we believe the buys. We can clearly believe the buys from really at the beginning. Let me go back. Yeah, this has been going on for a while. So we kind of broke it last week. That last high that kind of makes you want to believe the buys. But from a a fundamental and a technical standpoint, it's not an attractive deal outside of just watching the momentum push it up. It's like and even the sell is counter trend, so even the sell wouldn't be as attractive.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
from a longer term standpoint, now there is ranges that you can scalp here. That seems easy to like no brainers, and so I can see some of that happening, but not too keen this morning on taking a substantial trade.
No, yeah, my trade is I'm in drawdown now, but it's light risk. Yeah, see, we're pulling back. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time here. But the sells might, this is the thing about a range. It's saying both ways.
The old range.
Yeah. That's the thing about a range. It's like, what do we call this? Donation periods? Opportunities?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I do like the 1 minute sell on Dow. That just happened. It just came to VWAP, but it retested the support. And it's really a 1 minute scalp. It retested support, and so that area that we marked out as liquidity, it just jumped up. It sold off, jumped up, retested it, and then came back down to the VWAP. And that kind of sell is pretty good.
Yeah. I didn't take it, but I had that marked out and watched it play out. So that was a good little move.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, I don't see a trade setting up. I do see a ton of scalp opportunities like that, especially on gold. This sell back down to structure on gold, those kind of things I would hop around, but not too keen on taking a trade right now. I may take this buy though, because there's no true sense of direction right now.
For equities?
Yeah, and for metals. I mean, DXY is consolidating right now, and at the bottom, so there's no true sense of direction.
Yeah.
I am in a buy right now on gold. I just took it. You may have heard it, and it's going to be a quick scalp just based off of the this 1 minute divergence that's playing out, but it's going to be a very short term. I'm just trading the range. Just pull back up to the high, and then I'll jump out. I'm trying to take it to 23. Let's call it 23.40. See if it makes it up there.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's light risk. I got 8 contracts on it, micro contracts. I got 8 micros on. And see if we get the surge.
Okay.
Currently in profit. I know. It's you're gonna see the 100 contracts come out one of these days, but today is not the day for it.
It's not the day.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna I'll probably, we may get a failed auction here. It's probably gonna sell off. But I'm gonna carry it to 20. If we can make it up to 38, I'll be good with that scalp.
Yeah. It's just like today's it's the follow through. That's the thing that we're missing. Just the follow through. But I mean, it's Monday. So
that it is. No, I'm excited. I mean, the scalps is definitely playing out. Is the move today. You should be on the lower time frames scalping because the bigger moves aren't there. Yeah, this is going to hit my stop loss. I'm down about $50 in drawdown right now. And I'm risking $100. But yeah, the longer moves doesn't seem like it's going to be there. And even if they are there, it's not going to be a good setup. And so we're just I just hit my stop loss here. Almost, not yet. Has to break this last low on the 1 minute to take me out. So we're settling for the scalps. And I risk enough to call it a trading day. So it took some good setups, but nothing that I'm excited about today.
Yeah. Definitely.
What's your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Typically what happens after the halving, we see a few months of kind of lull, and it's just because larger players are positioning themselves. And then they're oscillating between altcoins and Bitcoin getting ready. Because typically once we see Bitcoin really, it's roughly about, don't say 3 months after the halving, we really see the bull market. Now we've already been in the bull market, so this go around has been interesting. But I think what we're seeing is just positioning. I think it's a lot of positioning right now. And then once we kind of get that positioning, where you'll start seeing a lot of more media coverage of it, and you'll see a lot of bigger companies saying, yeah, we're now not talking about getting invested, but now we're invested and you should too. And they start pushing the narrative. The bull market will come in a lot stronger, and then we'll start pushing our way up. I think we'll see, typically it's a long play, but I think this cycle we'll end up seeing that 100K because everybody desires it. And I think the larger institutions who aren't in the market, who are in now, also think that would be beneficial for them. Will I be in Bitcoin? Yes. Will I be in everything else? Probably not. Once we hit that 100K, liquidation. That's the name of the game.
So that's your liquidation zone?
Yeah, I'm going to look at a bit earlier. Just because my household, because I have traders in my house, we have learned a very valuable lesson that we don't do round numbers. Because every time we do round numbers, everybody else had the same idea and they're already out. So we've kind of get to a point where we see a round number come underneath that. As a conservative, I don't like this. I'm probably going to close my trade here shortly. But the round numbers typically pull us into either thinking it's going to continue higher and it's just the start, or everybody gets out a little bit faster than we can pull the trigger. And so we're looking roughly about, I want to start looking at 90,000, 88,000 is kind of where I'm going to start pumping brakes in the space.
So with that, do you leave any runners on? Or,
for me, Bitcoin is we have a few coins which we call the blue chips, the ones got a couple hundred million, upwards in the billion space. Those are going to be 5 years, 7-year holds. So your stuff that, and it's just this stuff I've done. I'm not sharing any advice, but some of the things we hold on to: XRP, XLM, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Those are the kind of ones that will be held through. But then your other tokens, they're opportunities. But for me, they won't make the cut after Bitcoin starts getting into that 88, 89 range. Yeah. And we'll start kind of looking at it, because the way altcoins work typically is if Bitcoin's up, say 5%, altcoins are anywhere between 10 to 20% increase on the move. And then when you start dabbling in the meme space, those 100, 200, 1,000x in those as well. So that's kind of the mindset, is like there's going to be some that I'm going to hold. From a trade perspective, I'm only looking at, when we get into bull markets, I only do buy trades on Bitcoin or Ethereum, just because the sentimental trend, big picture. Yeah. Like Mike Villafore said, big picture. That's the start. And so that's how I look at it. You can do the shorts. The shorts come in aggressive and they're big, but they're short-lived. And so that's the only reason why I don't take the shorts in a bull market. Not because they don't work, just because they're short-lived.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yes. This is
Tisha, it's never too late. never.
Especially if you're saying 100K is the target. I mean, this pullback that we're on right now is just discounted price to get in.
Absolutely.
Where do you see the bottom at?
I don't think we'll see. Actually, let me just pull up a Bitcoin chart. And just in case people want to know, you can trade Bitcoin in futures, MBT. Bitcoin futures, let me see. For me, I look at the, let me mute all this other stuff that I don't need on this chart really quickly. There we go. So this is why I was talking about the bull run. I can get rid of, these are contract rollovers. Bear me a second. Let me just get rid of those two. Events. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. So this is kind of how I see. We've been in this bull market. We've got the structured pullback, but the structured pullback, if you can look at how it moves, it's very aggressive up, very quick, large candles, and then we've got this kind of structured pullback.
That was more so the ETF, wasn't it? The ETF announcement.
With the push up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is yes. But then it's also right into, if we remember, what was the halving or was it that week? Yeah, the 15th, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a lot of the institutional investments coming into the market. We got our structure pullback. I don't see us going anywhere lower than, maybe 55, 54 at the lowest. If we do get into this area of the 53s, that's it. But I think if we're going to continue the structure down move, we're going to get into it. Let's call it 53 to 55. I don't think we'll come back here and wipe out all of the gains that we had off the institutional, excitement. But I mean, some people call for 50. I think that's too low. I think we'll hit into the 53 area to the 55 level and then continue our move back up to the upside. And then if we don't even pull back and continue moving from there, we just watch these structural breaks, the 67,000 level, then up here, you can see them, they're clear, these highs. But I don't see us coming lower than this $55,000 to $53,000 range.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch it play out.
Yeah, but
I was I think the ETF took the thunder out of the halving. I thought that the halving would have given us some support and we would have begun to rise, but that rise up on ETF announcement kind of took the excitement out of it. And made it more institutional based, and so now we're looking for that support area.
Yeah, it's true. But see, it's the thing about the halving is typically I think TradingView has this everything. Here we go. I think they have the halvings. Yeah, good old TradingView. You can find tools for whatever you want to do, but they have the cycles. And so let's see here. Where was the last halving? Here, let me actually go to a better Bitcoin chart. Bear with me just a moment. I'm sorry. Bitcoin. And we'll just use.
Gotta go to 2020. That's one thing. The one thing with futures is you can't go back.
Yeah.
On certain contracts.
Yep. Let's get rid of all this. So this is the halving right here. This is the last one. I'm on the weekly chart and go down to the daily chart. Typically what happens, let me go back to the last halving. Here we go. So this was the last one, 2020, right? We got, after the halving happened, we were still in consolidation, staying right under this range. And that lasted from literally when we had the halving in May all the way into July. We had no action. And then eventually we had that increase come out in July, pull back to the top of the range, and then it just ran off that. So that's the expectation a lot of times with the halving. Naturally, if there's no actual outside influence, is we are in a 3-month consolidation before we actually break out. So if you see the halving here of 2016, and then we kind of stay within that lull, we didn't even break the highs from the previous one until December of that year. From the actual day of the halving, which was the high here, roughly about $685, we didn't come out of that until October. So if we didn't have, this is, for me, this current halving is par for the course. So what I kind of expect is that we won't really clear the halving price for a few months and then come out, and then we'll see that next rise, because that's just kind of been the cycle. And so I think what happened is the institution investments kind of set up unrealistic precedent for most to say, okay, this is going up forever. And that's the thing. That's the lure of crypto as well. Bitcoin is like, you get in and it goes up. And I think the realistic approach is just understanding its cycles. It does change cycles. This cycle is new because we have investment that we didn't have before. And then we have regulation that's coming down too soon that we didn't have before as well. And then we get a phase of the bull cycle. We hit the top and then we start coming back off. Yeah. And so we can chart that. So I think what we're doing now, we've already entered a bull cycle from last year, December. And now we're going to have somewhat of a lull here. We might get a last minute liquidity grab and then see the move higher. But we're easily going to start clearing up into, that's why I'm looking at the 90s. 100,000 is not necessarily a stretch. I just think 100,000 is going to be the magic number for a lot of people. And I don't want to be part of the crowd. I want to leave early.
Just leave a runner for 200,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna, it's interesting when it comes to the trading side of it. Yeah, I'm going to trade it all the way up. Comes to the investment side, I'm going to be in there. So yeah, we're here to stay for a while. Definitely stay for a while. So
it was too expensive at $400 when my brother told me about it. It was too expensive.
That's the same conversation I had when me and my dad got introduced to it. It was $250. I was like, who's got $250? Yeah. That's too much money. What, invisible money? No. Yeah. And I'm just like, Lord tried to help us. It's like, I have a better way for you, my child.
Not missing it this go around. I'm looking for the next what's next. I've been holding on to a few coins, just waiting for it to go up in value. I got a strange coin I got in a while back ago, and it's starting to move up a little bit. But yeah, it's just interesting, just how that world works. And I there's this guy that was trying to teach me his strategy, because he owns a bunch of different stuff, and how he buys it, and and some was like this coin, this is used for this, and this coin does this. And I was like, yeah, this is a lot of information, but
right.
But it's a wave of the future. I mean, if you're into it, you're into it. Bitcoin's one of the main ones I'm paying attention to.
Honestly, I think getting into crypto, investing in crypto is just as valuable as like I tell this to a lot of people. I said, even if you're not a trader, you should know how to trade.
Yeah,
it's a skill set that you must have, because it puts you in a position where you can now have multiple skills to generate income in different streams and businesses. Even if that's not your call and your purpose, you have the skill to do it. It's just like public speaking. You need the skill. You should develop the skill, even if that's necessarily not what you're going to use all the time or you like it at all.
That's interesting. It's so interesting because you'll have people be like, hey, you should buy Bitcoin or you should do this, and you go to a chart and look at it, like, why are they saying to buy it against resistance right here? This is major resistance. Like, to have that ability to say this is not the proper time to be doing it.
Yes.
It's light years from where I used to be. Like, well, you should definitely get into this. They're doing this. Like, buy Nike. They're going up. You go look at a chart. It's like, well, it's actually, no, it was last week. I think it was Monday when Meta earnings came out.
Mm-hmm.
And they fell. The stock fell.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up a chart and it was retesting before. It's like, yeah, like earnings came out, but technical showed you that it was getting ready to fall anyway.
Yeah. It's interesting because like we look at the fundamentals, we see the daily releases, the economic releases, and we know that that's the catalyst to drive to the technicals. It's the energy, it's the momentum. So when we look at earnings reports, they know what's up. They've already had these conversations.
Yeah.
They expect it. And so and so with the skill set to be able to read charts, you find the opportunities to say, you know what, it's cool, because in a bull market, I just want to go back to Bitcoin really quick here. Bitcoin USD. In a bull market, and we've experienced it, you buy anything and you're making money. Mm-hmm. And then you feel like, oh, this is it. This is I'm the greatest. And and a lot of people who, for example, like this bull market right here, this was 2020. We came in straight out of, right off of, I think, what was it, July we just talked about, the pump. And then we pushed up. So people were buying, pull back. Everybody's like, buy the dip, push, buy this dip, buy this dip, buy this dip, buy this dip. And at that point, if you're not really paying attention to clear structure or understand, at least to know how to analyze this, you're like, this is not a dip.
Yeah.
Until you get this kind of structure set up. I mean, look where it came back to. It literally came all the way back to that previous low and supported off of that, drew wicks, didn't even break the lows, wicked it, and then continued to push back up to create a new high. And then you can clearly see that. If you know and able to read the skill set of reading structure and charts and understand trading, it'll benefit you so much more as an investor long term, because then you can, there won't be anything that you would approach, even things that don't have charts, you can still understand the data. And when you understand the data, you analyze that data in a way where you can be a very strong investor. Because like, for example, if you were buying during and I'm saying this because I was in that, anything I bought just made money. It was like, oh yeah, this is it. And we're seeing, you see some crazy numbers. And I know people who see multiple six figures off of $200-$300 investments, and they were like, yep, this is it. I'm the greatest crypto investor. And then, couldn't read the charts, couldn't read the time. So that's the way I see it. It's a skill you must have, even if you're not a trader, just like investing.
Yeah.
Learn it, understand it. Just so that you understand the skill set. Your gifting will show up in your area of gift, that God gave you, but have the skills.
Yeah, it's important. I think that goes into stewardship as well. It's like, there's an effectiveness of praying for strategy, but then when God gives you a skill set to use as well, is the equivalent to believe in God. It's like, no, I'm gonna be a steward of what you've been given. You give me the capacity to understand and to know times and seasons. Like that's a skill set that I'm going to be a good steward of. You know?
Absolutely.
This is really what it is. It's like, times and seasons. Looking at this, like, no, this is not the time. This is not the season for that. It's not going to go up. And then you have data that protects that as well. Like that's the power to get wealth, as the Bible says.
Yeah. That word kowak in there, I think it's Hebrew. Where also taught us that it's the ability to change, shift, and adapt. And so he gives us the ability to change, shift, and adapt to what? Market cycles, moving, environments, changing winds and seasons. It's people who are stagnant. It's kind of like the story of the fig tree. You knew I was coming. Yeah. You didn't. You couldn't sense the season changing.
Yeah,
I was coming to you. You knew I was coming. You knew the season was changing. So it's critical. It's critical. Yeah.
Well, cool. Market is not moving at all, so I think I'm going to call it for the morning. I am coming back. I will be back on the charts in the afternoon just to see if I can catch a sell off of NQ. I think we'll see if lunch changes everybody's appetite, and they begin to sell off after lunch. Morning looks like it's pushing up, and it doesn't want to find a top yet. So we'll see where we're at. Close it. I like that power hour right around 1 p.m. Central Time, and you're expecting the reversal in the morning. It happens in the afternoon, but it's a Monday. We may or may not see it. So I'm not really excited about what's happening.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yep.
Same here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us this morning, Dustin.
Absolutely.
What's your schedule like this week?
I have a little bit more availability this week. Closer to let's call it 7:30, 8-ish.
Okay.
I'll have some space this week. So
yeah. Well, jump on back with us. We enjoy having you on.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah. Cool, fellas. I think we're gonna call it a day. Good trading day today. I am down a couple $100 for today, so we'll see. Kind of back of mind, but we'll see if I can what that does in the afternoon session, if we're going to be able to make that up or not. Not too worried about it. I know something's going to present itself today. What's your plan for today, Terrace?
I gotta make that 550 up. So I'll be looking for at least one trade to do that. If I can make that 550 up, get back to break even, that's a start. But the goal is still between 5 and 1,000 for the day. So I'll be looking for some scalps on US 30 specifically. Probably won't look at anything else but US 30 today.
Okay. So keep swinging. Keep 1-2ing.
I know, yeah. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah. Dustin, what's your plan for today?
Yeah, I'm actually still in the longs on NAS. I have conservative position, so I think we'll see the highs. It's a scalp, so if we can break highs or tap highs, I'll be out of that trade. And then around power hours, the same, watching to see if we can get the reversal on that. I'm also liking how gold is setting up. I think we'll see some kind of positioning for the rest of the week when data comes out. And so that one be a good one. I'll try to catch a overnight trade so that we can hold it throughout the day. But just watching those two right now.
Nice. All right, fellas. Well, let's call it one. We'll see everybody back in the morning and keep going at it.
Awesome.
But good call today. Good call today.
All right. Take care.
All
right.
All right.